in this game. He'll be out on the field in just a moment. Keep an eye on number 0 for the Panthers. He's not returning this kick. He usually does at times. This is Deuce Spahn, and Spahn will take it out just around the 20-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for quarterback Eli Holstein from there. Completed 75% of his passes for 304 yards last season in this game. He completed 301 yards of passing for 3 touchdowns in a late fourth quarter rally to bring the Panthers back for the victory. First down and 10.
Eli Holstein, a big quarterback. You mentioned the communication going to be huge, but he has really improved his decision-making and comfort in this Kate Bell offense.
Kate Bell, the second-year offensive coordinator. Tight end in motion. They run a little play action. Holstein will be sacked. Ball comes out. It's on the ground. Mountaineers couldn't scoop it. They had an opportunity. Instead, the Panthers recover. But a huge hit by Curtis Jones Jr. to spring that ball loose.
Well, Curtis Jones Jr. goes underneath the tackle, through the block of Desmond Reed, wraps up Eli Holstein, the ball ends up on the ground. West Virginia had a wonderful chance to pick it up. Like one of the secondary members.
Wow.
Had a chance. That would have been Kakura Tarnu. Had a chance to pick it up and maybe score a touchdown. Pitt fortunate to end up with that one.
Loss of 11 yards sets up a second down and 21. Back inside the 10-yard line, Holstein had a man in the middle of the field. Down the sideline, open, but overshoots Desmond Reed. So in a blink, it's going to be third down and 21 to go.
They had a matchup for Desmond Reed. He's matched up on the linebacker, Ben Cutter. And as Eli Holstein escapes, Cutter's eyes were in the backfield, and he goes down the field. These third and longs, West Virginia has to get off the field. These first 3 snaps, West Virginia's played a little bit of a different defense than they've shown consistently over the course of the year. And it's got Pitt in a situation where they're going to have a tough time picking it up.
How so different?
The 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and 3 safeties deep for this West Virginia defense.
On the receiver screen, complete. Number 3, Hicks, the fastest of the Panther receivers. Nowhere to go. It's going to be a gain of 1. Fourth down and a quick 3 and out for the Pitt offense. Jason Chambers making the tackle for the Mountaineers.
There's a situation where you just want to rally to the football and tackle, and it looks like West Virginia is going to get really good field position as long as this punt isn't an absolute boomer.
Caleb Junko back inside his own end zone, about 7 yards deep. Preston Fox perched at his own 49-yard line. He'll have a chance to return this. Might have gotten a yard on the return. Let's check in with Q downstairs.
Coming off a loss last week at Ohio, we asked head coach Rich Rodriguez, who's going to play quarterback this week? He said 5 guys. And so apparently he's got a menu of 5 quarterbacks that we will see today. Nico Marchiol will start, the lefty, likely not a great runner, but he's their best passer. You'll see Jalen Henderson, another lefty. He was 0 for 4 last week in the throwing game. You also could see a youngster, Scotty Fox, who ran for a big touchdown against Robert Morris, Khalil Wilkins, or even Max Brown. 5 guys.
We'll make sure that we're watching up here. 8, 13, 6, 14. Those are the top 3 QBs. This is QB1. Completes it down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. That was Rodney Gallagher, the third on the other end of that reception. A 20-yard gain and a first down. Authoritative throw by Marchiol.
Very good by Nico Marchiol. The safety rolled to the middle of the field, got it over the linebacker and down to his receiver.
That pass incomplete at the 31-yard line. Intended for Gallagher again. Oh, they're going to call it a catch. Check that.
Man, how about this throw? Gets it over Kyle Lewis, and the safety, Javon McIntyre, was going from over the slot, sprinting to the middle of the field to have that middle third. Nico Marchiol saw it and delivered accurately.
Loss of 3 on that previous reception. Marchiol under duress, and he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Rasheem Biles. Back at the 33-yard line. A loss of 2 on that play. So it'll be 3rd and long. They're going to go quick. They get lined up. Martial finds his man down to the 25-yard line. That's the tight end, Grayson Barnes, but short of the first down. 4th on that 8-yard gain.
Yeah, I think it's smart to kick the field goal here. You're going to notice West Virginia's tempo is as fast as you're going to see in the country. I mean, this is a crew that is absolutely on top of the football as soon as they can, waiting to snap the ball, and it almost caught Pitt on that last snap.
Kate Hensley in to attempt this field goal.
Interesting field goal formation.
They must have heard you. A shift, this one coming from 44, and that is a line drive that does not make it. An opportunity. Welcome back, everyone, to Morgantown, West Virginia, as we take a look at today's impact players. Brought to you by Chili's, and this is a nice matchup, Roddy.
It really is. Desmond Reed, talked about him in the open, is going to make an impact running the ball, catching the ball, and in the punt return game. And then on the other side, Fred Perry, their versatile safety, could get matched up with Reed in the passing game.
That's Reed in motion into the backfield. Off the RPO, the pass complete to the 29-yard line. Raphael Williams, a.k.a. Poppy, with the reception for 3 yards.
Pitt going to use tempo as well. This could be one of the faster games we've seen tempo-wise.
Holstein taking a look. Now checks down to the near sideline. That's Poppy again, who, in his own words, he's always telling Holstein, I'm open, man. I'm open.
7-11. He's always open. I don't close. And he's been open on the pass, too. Eli Holstein has made nice deliveries.
11-yard gain on the play. Out to the 40-yard line. They fake the jet sweep and hand it off to Reed. Reed out to the 48-yard line, brought down by Perry. That's the matchup Roddy was talking about a moment ago. Reed out of the bottom from Dade County, Carroll City, Miami, Florida.
And Pitt really hasn't run the ball that consistently this year. Some of it was they've been explosive enough where they haven't had to. But running the football is certainly going to be something that Pat Narduzzi wants to do.
2nd and 2.
A lot of guys around the line of scrimmage. For Eli Holstein, you can see him checking at the line of scrimmage.
Hand it off and pick up the first down. That was Reed again. A gain of 3 yards. Perry with the tackle. Here's one of the key early plays already.
It is. Oh, you see the ball come out. Watch Desmond Reed. As soon as the corner or the safety tries to pick it up, he collisions him, hits the ball out of his hands, and it ends up with Pitt having the football.
Huge play. Holstein tried to send his receiver downfield, Kenny Johnson, but he got tied up. Incomplete with 9:37 to go here in the opening quarter. Pittsburgh a week ago defeated Central Michigan 45-17. They opened up 2 weeks ago against Duquesne and won 61-9. But Pat Narduzzi told his team that you better expect something different from these Mountaineers today in this regional rivalry. Holstein gets it out quickly. That's Johnson. Had a blocker out in front of him. Number 82, Malachi Thomas. Jason Chambers coming up from his corner spot to make the stop.
It's just a really nice job by Pitt using motion to create leverage. When Johnson motions in, the safety Darian Lewis comes in as well, but Lewis doesn't redirect and get back outside the box, and it creates a 3rd and short where Pitt's going to be able to run the football if they would like.
3rd and 3. Holstein hands it off. Reed, slick move outside. He hit the Mountaineers with a little sauce there, but there's a flag down on the play. At about the 39-yard line, looks like it's a hold.
It's going to be a block in the back, I think, on Blue Hicks.
That 7-yard gain going to be wiped out.
Offense, number 3, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, Desmond Reed's going to bounce this ball outside, and Blue Hicks is going to come and throw a block when he doesn't really have to. It's going to look like Desmond Reed has the edge on the corner, but Blue Hicks comes and pushes the corner, Jordan Scruggs, in the back. I think Reed would have been able to make that bounce, and even if he isn't, as a receiver, you got to give your running back a chance. That 3rd and short now becomes a 3rd and 10. This will be a heavy pass situation. Question for West Virginia, do they bring pressure, do they drop numbers?
Holstein with time, fires, and it's incomplete, intended for Johnson. Sets up a 4th and 10. So the Mountaineers defense going to get off the field here, it appears. Had him open too.
Yeah, he did. He had a couple of guys open. Kenny Johnson just not able to wrangle it, but he had Poppy Williams, who says he's always open. He was open over the middle of the field. Came right in, so in the vision of Eli Holstein, decides to throw it over the top. It's Kenny Johnson, and it's incomplete.
Caleb Junko with an average of 45.6 yards per punt. Fair catch called at the 9 by Preston Fox. 100 yards on the ground. He was expelled from the game, though, for the first time in his career after a melee broke out in front of the Pitt bench near midfield. Pitt would win the game 24-16. Mr. Heisman Trophy winner as well. One of the best to ever do it. Clay Ash in the backfield. 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers. Got a nice seam over the right side of the offensive line and lunges close to the 1st down.
And Clay Ash in the game starting because Jaheim White, their star running back, best player on this offense, out for the year after a horse collar tackle against Ohio. And Mark, he's not the only guy that's out. Jaden Bray, the starting receiver, also out for the year after a foot injury. So this West Virginia offense having a couple backups step in.
Having to improvise. Here's one of the guys stepping in and stepping up. Ash again picks up the 1st down. How does that impact the Mountaineers specifically at those 2 positions, Roddy?
Jaheim White was their most explosive player offensively, so I think it limits them. And then you get less experience at the receiver position against a Pitt defense that likes to play tight man-to-man coverage on the outside.
Ash motioning out of the backfield. Markio is going to be sacked for a loss of about 4 on the play. Jimmy Scott was the first defender to get there. He's one of their top pass rushers on that front. He'll be 2nd and about 14.
This is, we told you about the tempo earlier. This is on average 26 seconds between plays. That's real time. And then time per drive, they average 141 per drive. Some of that's the 3 and outs that go quickly as well.
Markio sacked back to the 14-yard line. A wonderful insurgence on that front line from Francis Brew. A loss of 5. Pitt has always had a bunch of those guys up front, historically, that can rush the passer.
Yes, they have. And this is a group that may not have an individual star, but has a bunch of guys that are really, really good. And when West Virginia substitutes, it slows down the tempo because Pitt is going to take their time subbing a couple defensive tackles for 3rd and long.
Francis Brew summoning his inner Hugh Green on that last sack. I remember the cover of Sports Illustrated. Hugh Green on the cover with his jersey. I mean, I think the caption read, "Baddest cat in the land." That's what Pitt brings in this rivalry. Back after this. This was the scene just a few moments ago pregame. The Panthers showing a united front, figuratively and literally, embracing as one and taking the field in a game that means everything between these 2 teams. And this is what Kyle Lewis had to tell us a little bit earlier in our meetings. He said, we feel like here at Pitt we've got an actual brotherhood, and that says a lot in a day and age when players have been very transient along with coaches. A sack back at the 5-yard line by Blaine Spires. And that's going to bring up a 4th and long for the Mountaineers.
Well, here on this right side, Kyle Lewis goes up the field, and Blaine Spires goes underneath the tackle and just beats him with an inside move. This is a Pitt defensive line that may not have the individual stars that they've had in the past. When you look at Jimmy Scott, Blaine Spires, Joey Zielinski, Zach Crothers, this is a really good group that can get after the passer.
Shot a punt from the back. He's end zone, and Aaron Snap did a fantastic job just to corral the snap and get off the punt, which takes a propitious bounce across midfield and into Pitt territory. Wow. A tenuous position that time a moment ago. What a great catch here by the punter, Oliver Straw.
Unbelievable. That needs to be on You Got Mossed. It really does, because it saved 2 points. One-handed. And then he got the bounce to give Pitt decent field position, but certainly not as good as it could have been. That could have been an absolute disaster for West Virginia.
Q, the Australian, did a nice job.
Well, Aussie rules football. It's more than just punting. It's also ball handling. They can kick righty, they can kick lefty, they can catch everything. That was an amazing play.
Great athlete. From the 47-yard line, first down and 10 Panthers. Reed takes it over the right side. Will gain about 2 yards, stopped up by Curtis Jones Jr. Setting up a second down and 8.
The 2 defenses have dominated so far. I think we expected Pitt's defense to have success against West Virginia's offense, but the fact that this Pitt offense that's put up 400-plus yards in each of its first 2 games, being held to only 25 so far in this one, that one's a little bit of a surprise, but Zach Alley doing a nice job of mixing up the looks.
Holstein out of the shotgun. On the RPO, gets it out to Johnson on the edge. And Johnson lunges forward, will pick up the first down. Tarnu makes the stop on the 11-yard pass. Kenny Johnson, a 6'1 junior out of York, PA. Pardon me, he was short of the first down. 3rd and short. Reed made a great jump cut near the line of scrimmage and scampers for about a 9-yard run. Coates finally dragged him down.
So the defense that West Virginia's gone with on this drive is much more like what we saw in the first drive. Those 3 safeties deep and making it a fairly lighter box, which means there's less guys in the box for West Virginia than there were. These 3 safeties back here, it's a little bit different look than you've seen so far this year.
Hicks motions into the backfield. Reed straight ahead. His forward progress taking him up to about the 30, a 4-yard gain. Ben Cutter making the tackle on the play for the Mountaineers. This Pitt offense, Roddy, feels like it's gaining a little bit of momentum and rhythm.
It is, and it's because they've been able to run the ball. When you've got a light box, it means you've got more blockers in the box than they have defenders. You got to be able to run the football, and Pitt being able to do that helps open up the pass game, because West Virginia almost daring Pitt to run the ball with this alignment.
Reed has been able to do that successfully so far. Saw his numbers a moment ago. Back to pass. Holstein scrambles and pushed out of bounds at about the 29. Good pursuit and pressure by Devin Grant, a 1-yard gain on the play.
Devin Grant does a really nice job of just getting around the corner against the tight end. And that's a mismatch with a big 265-pound Grant's able to get around the corner. Now on a 3rd and 5. And Zach Alley likes to dial up some pressure from time to time. We have not seen that on a 3rd down so far. But this is an alignment that looks like it's man-to-man coverage. You could get pressure.
They've got to locate Poppy Williams. He's a favorite target in these situations. Holstein downfield for his tight end, incomplete. Intended for Justin Holmes, but he overshot his receiver. It appeared he had him open.
It did, but the pressure. I mean, West Virginia brings 3 players up the middle on this blitz. You're going to get 1, 2, and then the safety 3. All blitzing up the middle, right in the face of Eli Holstein. He has to move a little bit. Pitt actually does a decent job picking it up, but just misses the throw. And then now Pitt's got the offense out here on 4th down.
They're going to go for it on 4th and 5. 2 of 4 and 4th down conversions this season. Holstein gets it out, completes it. The catch made inside the 10 and still going. Malachi Thomas. And that's going to be a 1st and goal now for Pitt. A 22-yard gain. We have a flag on the play, though. Boy, Malachi Thomas carried a few defenders for a few yards.
The result of the play is a 1st down. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 56, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
On the center, Lyndon Cooper getting involved late in the down. But what a play by Eli Holstein. Fred Perry brings pressure. You get a look at Cooper. He can't dive on the pile.
We have our buddy Matt Austin here. Matt, tell us why on this call.
Well, yeah, that's a good call. You can't come in that late. We've got fouls now for a blindside block. The runner was already down. He came in. He tried to push the pile. He got there a little late. As Roddy said, you just can't dive into people at the pile and try to pick guys off.
I appreciate you having my back, Matt. Thank you.
Approaching 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Panthers backed up after that first down. Holstein going to be sacked back at the 27-yard line. The ball coming out, or was he down first? That's going to be the second time we've seen it squirt out. The first one wasn't fumble, but Sternin was the first one to get there. But the second down.
Yeah, it looks like ball's out.
Yeah, it did.
Question is, did you have an immediate recovery? I didn't see who ended up with that football, but the ball is clearly out. Who ends up with it at the end?
Gouveia, number 66, appeared to be a little casual about picking the ball up. He might have thought it was whistled dead. 2nd and 14 as a result. Reed split to the top of your screen. Middle of the field, incomplete, intended for Poppy Williams. It sets up 3rd down and 14.
I'll tell you what, Mark, the pressure that West Virginia is able to get on Eli Holstein should be concerning for Pitt. I mean, he has been under constant duress, whether they brought pressure or not. 2 plays ago, Vesterinen just powers through the center to get in the lap of Eli Holstein, causing the fumble. And on that last play, he's having to move up in the pocket. I would say that's an area of concern so far.
Duly noted. 10th play of the drive coming up. Holstein gets it out. Reed locked at the 25 and stopped. Well short of the first down, picked up 2 yards. Michael Coates Jr. with the tackle. And under a minute to go in the opening quarter this time, Pitt will bring in the field goal unit. Trey Butkowski will come in. Made a 43-yarder last week. 1 of 1 on the season. This one also coming from 43 yards out. And he pushed it to the left. So both teams with errant field goals, both missing an opportunity to get on the scoreboard. Zeros on the board as we go back to the studio.
All right, Matt Barry in our college football studio. No scoring in the backyard brawl opposite of Georgia, Tennessee. Gunnar Stockton ties it after Tennessee march right down the field to make it 7-0, tied at 7. And then Joey Aguilar having it today. Chris Brazil. Watch this. One-on-one coverage. Pass interference called. Didn't matter. High point it. Get it. 14-7 Rocky Top.
All right, Matt, back here. Nico Marchiol still in at quarterback. We have yet to see either Jalen Henderson or any of the other quarterbacks. Seconds to go in the opening quarter. Handoff and a crease up the middle. Out to the 37-yard line. A nice sprint by Ty Edwards.
It's a really good job by the 2 pullers from the backside, opening up a hole. And Ty Edwards just gets right through it. A guy who they're getting up to speed, 6'2", 225 pounds.
That's the end of the first
Big
quarter.
back going downhill, and man, we got a defensive brawl here in Morgantown.
South Florida last week.
That'll be a good game. Florida wasn't far away. A couple crucial mistakes against South Florida.
1st and 10 for the Mountaineers. Marchiol out near the 40, a 3-yard gain to Gallagher. McIntyre making the tackle on the play. 2nd down. Rich Rodriguez has a lot of memories of these games against Pitt in this backyard brawl. And when we asked him yesterday if one jumped out at his mind, he said it was the one in 2005 in which quarterback Pat White had a huge game, a lot of production against Pitt on a frozen field.
Had a chance to catch up with Pat White on the field before the game. Talking about a guy that could play, man.
And he could sling it. Versatile quarterback. Another lefty like the guy now. Completes that pass to Gallagher, the 3rd. but stopped up short of the first down by Sean Lee Jr. 6-yard gain, setting up a 3rd down and short.
It's a really nice job of using the play action to get Nico Marchiol on the perimeter.
3rd and 2. Marchiol hands it off to Ty Edwards, who moves the chains. Let's go down to Quint.
I spoke to Coach Rodriguez during the first quarter changeover there. Offensive line, the big question mark right now. They've got to protect better, but he wants to see Nico get the ball out faster. And what you're seeing on this drive, Mark, is a lot of quick game. Little 1- and 2-step drops, boom, the ball's out. They've got to get out of the pass protection business.
No doubt, Q, and it's gotten them successful 1st and 2nd down plays so they can get into their tempo. For these tempo teams, a positive play on 1st down is so crucial.
43 total yards on offense so far for West Virginia. A nice slant caught over the middle. Wow, and Cam Vaughn hung on to the ball after taking a jarring hit, and they moved the chains again.
Pitt brought pressure, and West Virginia did a nice job of picking it up.
18-yard gain on 1st and 10. Edwards. Interminable energy out near another Mountaineer 1st down inside the 25.
How about the strength of Ty Edwards to break tackles and get positive yardage?
Up at the line and snapping it quick. Edwards stopped up right near the line of scrimmage. Took a bit hit from Rasheem Biles, who upended him. Then Brookins came in to clean it up.
Got a Pitt player down, and these West Virginia fans don't like it booing, but that's a legitimate injury. Like Sean Fitzsimmons, I believe, on the ground.
It appeared to happen before the ball was spotted, Roddy, which is a big point.
And it was right
this
after
year.
the play.
Yeah.
He didn't even get up off the ground.
Point of emphasis, of course, if you're reminded that they're trying to cut down on spurious injuries, fake injuries this year.
It's actually Zach Crothers, the defensive end, 5, not Sean Fitzsimmons, 55.
J.O.B. with Carolyn Peck.
I was gonna say, hopping on the JET out there to Vegas. They're reviewing to see if Ty Edwards got the 1st down, but the Atlanta team has got us all daring to dream.
You excited, right? That's
I'm pretty excited.
That's your crew, the dream.
Pumped.
They are checking to see if he made the 1st down or not. His knee appeared to be down. Well, they've got a better view than we do.
That angle looks like he's short. Based on what we saw, I would expect the ruling on the field to be upheld.
What do you make of the job that Ty Edwards has done so far coming in for Jaheim White?
He's done a really nice job. He gives him a physical presence from that running back position. A guy that's on his 5th school in his career, was at Georgia Military Academy in 2019, junior college in 2020, in 2020 and 21, UTSA in 22, Northern Iowa for 2 years. But because of the ruling, Diego Pavia ruling, gets those junior college years back.
After review, the runner made the line to gain. It's 1st down at the 23-yard line.
So Edwards got the 1st down. 4 rushes for 25 yards so far for him. I'll pay you to wear a hat like that, Roddy. The one with
I'm not going to say there's not a price.
I think that thing's alive on top of his.
But it's going to cost you.
Nico, meanwhile, yeah, that would look good on you. Give me a little Kangol version of that.
I don't know if they make those. You got to have the raccoon face on there.
Custom, baby, custom. Nico Marchiol, meanwhile, 6 of 6 for 50 yards passing. 1st down and 10 from the 23. They fake the reverse, and the pass complete to the tight end, Grayson Barnes. Out of Rockland, California, they're getting up to the line of scrimmage quick.
And we've got the clock in the upper left-hand corner to show you just how fast West Virginia is going to run the ball or run the next play. Looking at the sideline, not giving this Pitt defense much time to get set and get going.
Cam Vaughn split wide to the field. Marchiol hands it off inside. A crease and a touchdown. Touchdown, Edwards. Ty Edwards with his first rushing touchdown of the season. And it feels like the party just got started here in this backyard brawl. In the 100.
This was that last play. At 24 seconds after the ball went out of bounds, West Virginia runs a little counter. You're going to get 2 blocks. One of them coming on Kyle Lewis, the linebacker. And right up the middle goes Ty Edwards. But the trick play, the fake reverse to the tight end, 24 seconds later, you get a downhill run, and you're in the end zone.
Set that up very well. On the kickoff return out to the 20, it's Deuce Spahn. Let's check in with the studio.
All righty, Matt Barry back in the studio with our look around the 3:30 window. Plenty to keep an eye on. Texas and Arch just kicked off. Bill Belichick up 20-0 with North Carolina. Iowa State surprisingly tied with Arkansas State. And Tennessee is laying the wood to Georgia 21-7.
Wow.
How surprised are you by that?
Very. I mean, Tennessee hasn't beaten Georgia since a Hail Mary in 2016. And I believe the average margin of victory is well over 20 points. Georgia didn't work. The offensive concerns for Georgia are real.
Holstein on the RPO hands it off to Jules Goff, who has checked into the backfield. Gets his first touch, 1-yard gain on the play.
It's got to regain some of this momentum. Some of it comes with running the football, but if you get into passing situations, which typically second and longs are passing situations for this Pitt offense, you got to protect Eli Holstein. He's been under duress a lot.
On 2nd and 9, Holstein surveys, takes out his do-it-yourself kit and comes up about a yard shy of the first down, setting up a 3rd down and 1. Fred Perry making the tackle for the Mountaineers defense, an 8-yard gain on the play.
Tell you what, Reed Carrico had a great shot at sacking Eli Holstein in the backfield. But this 3-3-5 defense or 3-2-6 defense that West Virginia's in has been giving Eli Holstein fits.
Holstein got it out under duress again. And they're going to blow it dead. It's going to be an incomplete pass. Good pressure, though, by Braden Siders.
Tremendous individual effort by Braden Siders. Coming off the right side. He's going to go down inside and then spin back out once he feels the hole. And once again, it's man-to coverage on the back end. Nobody's able to get open quickly enough. Eli Holstein under pressure. Just has to chuck it out.
Partner, isn't me or has Holstein been a little bit loose with the ball today?
He has. It is not just you. You saw the fumble earlier that wasn't called. That one, a very dangerous kind of shove out wide.
Junko with the punt. Fair catch back at the 30-yard line by Preston Fox. It'll be
when he was in 1st grade, and you must have made a huge impact. How'd you do it?
He was a good kid. He always listened, and obviously he remembered what I taught him. So I feel so honored to get this, like for him to remember it all these years later. So very thankful.
Sherry's our winner. Belinda is the principal. Education and then this $1,000 will go a long way in the classroom.
Absolutely. We're so appreciative. On behalf of Cheat Lake Elementary School and Montague County Schools, we just thank you for recognizing the excellent teaching that Sherry does and for recognizing the long-lasting impression that teachers have on students' lives.
Thank you, Sherry. Mark?
all right. Teachers doing a thankless job. Shot downfield into traffic and coverage. And incomplete. Sherry doing a real wonderful job with her kids, and it must feel great to have one of your students out there in the field, right?
It's got to feel awesome. We thank all of our teachers. I've got 2 elementary school age children, and let me just say, having a classroom full of them is a task to deal with every single day. So thank you so much to our teachers, and what a wonderful story on game day this morning.
Shout out to Lori Miranda Jones at Dolphin Bay Elementary School in South Florida. Does a great job with her kids as a teacher. That pass incomplete on the slant. Cam Vaughn was the intended target. That's a guy that they want to target a lot, but he's been a little bit conspicuous by his silence in terms of catching passes today.
Well, they had him open. Ran a little wheel post behind it. Got a natural pick out of it. Nico Marchiol just missed them. They actually picked up a blitz, the blitz pretty well.
Right.
And it didn't pan out.
Here's the punt. Kenny Johnson is going to be driven back all the way to the 15-yard line. Dodges one defender. Turns it north-south. Johnson all the way up to the 40-yard line. A nice return. Mountaineers claiming the ball came loose on that 52-yard punt, a 24-yard return. It'll be first down, Pittsburgh.
Okay, Cheese, 50-yarder for the win.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Ice the kicker.
Something better.
Is that Terry? Did you just get hired?
Dude entered the portal and came out a legend. Want it, need it, cheese it.
I still have a bunch of those from the Cheez-It Bowl we did last
Do
year.
you? I wonder if they're a little stale now. That was back in January.
First and 10. And they're going to review this to see if it was a fumble or not. On the punt return.
I didn't see the ball come out and hit the ground, but I did see a West Virginia player punch at it.
Yeah, Kenny Johnson was the Pitt player right here. If you take a look, Johnson, nice return of about 24 yards, but right there, was he down or not? Looked like he landed on one of his teammates.
Well, it's also when the ball's punched at by Jordan Scruggs, does the ball start to move? Because if the ball comes out before he's down, Scruggs clearly gets up with the football.
Yeah, we can't even see the ball from this angle. Nothing definitive about that shot.
No, certainly not. But
the ruling on the field is that the ball carrier was down already.
Obviously, the ACC Replay Center in Charlotte, it's an ACC crew. They've got all the angles.
Let's bring in Matt Austin, our rules analyst, Roddy.
Let's
wait first.
The ruling on the field is upheld. First down.
Yeah, Mark, I don't think they could have done anything. I didn't see a single view that they had. You're right. They showed the ball. Originally, it looked like it started to move when it was punched, but then you lost sight of it. You don't know if he lost control then or ever. So I think that's a good uphold.
All right, Matt, and it'll be first down and 10. Pittsburgh, after putting up 45 points on the board last week against Central Michigan, has not scored yet. Under 10 minutes to go in the first half. Holstein finds his target at the 47-yard line. That's Deuce Spawn. And Deuce moves the chains. Picks up the first down. Former Florida State Seminole. Picks up 16, Roddy.
This is a really nice job by Eli Holstein. The pocket is completely collapsing around him. He's getting squeezed and still delivers an accurate ball down the field to Deuce Spawn.
From the 45. Williams in motion, wide open at the 28-yard line. He makes the catch. And Poppy making a little bit of noise with his play in his mouth right now. First and 10.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer with targeting. Defense. Wow. Number 33. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down. The previous play is under review.
Roughing the passer with targeting, Roddy.
Yeah, you're going to see right up the middle, Ashton Woods. Eli Holstein delivers the football, and the quarterback is a defenseless player in that scenario. So all you need is forcible contact to the head or neck area for it to be targeting. It's a high hit. I would say it's pretty forcible to the head or neck area. Matt, what do you see there with the targeting and the personal foul roughing the passer as well?
Well, as you said, Roddy, this is definitely a high hit, which does rise to the level of roughing the passer. The fact that there was an upward launch at the end, he was attacking with force with that upward thrust and the blow to the head, as you said. I think this is definitely targeting and should be upheld.
Yeah, that upward thrust that you were talking about, that's the indicator needed for it to be considered targeting. Rich Rodriguez fired up.
An interesting, good distinction by you, partner, to say that the quarterback is considered defenseless too, right?
Yeah, when he's in a passing posture,
right.
He certainly is. Protect these guys. And the coaching point for Ashton Woods is if you bring that target zone where you're going to hit the quarterback, if you bring it down 6 inches, hit him in the sternum, then I think you're good on both fronts, because it wasn't a late hit on the quarterback. It was just high, which gives you the roughing the passer. And then the targeting is, hey, is there an indicator? Is it to the head or neck area, which I think in this situation it is.
After review, there is a personal foul with roughing the passer with targeting. Defense number 33. Penalties half of distance to the goal. Number 33 is disqualified.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision by the replay booth. That was definitely a hit to the head, and there's, you got to get that hit out of the game.
Well, that's going to move the chains, and the ball quite a bit for the Panthers, still looking for their first score.
Ashton Woods, a reserve linebacker for this team, but plays a lot, especially with Chase Wilson got banged up a week ago. He's been playing in this game, but maybe not as many snaps as we are accustomed to seeing. So now Reed Carrico in the game along with Ben Cutter, number 15 at linebacker.
From the 12, 1st and 10. Eli Holstein keeps it himself and makes it down to about the 6-yard line. Holstein put up 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns in last year's comeback victory. 2nd and 5 coming up. Young man who told me that Josh Allen is the guy that he likes to watch a lot of video of and kind of take parts of his game from him. Reed is out of the ball game. Jalen Williams is in at tailback. Holstein fires, picked off in the end zone. It's coming back the other way. Darian Lewis with a huge INT. West Virginia's 4th interception of the season, and a costly turnover for Holstein.
Well, you're going to get these 2 receivers going in, and Zion Fowler-El is the one that he's looking for. It's just a throw that's behind the intended receiver. It's a little confusion about who's going first, who's going second. It's a poor throw by Eli Holstein behind his intended target, and an easy interception. What a turn of events after a penalty and a nice drive by Pittsburgh to get down inside the 10-yard line and throw the interception, and West Virginia gets the ball.
From the 10-yard line, 1st and 10. Coming back the other way, Nico Marchio, still the quarterback, hands it off. Edwards, who's doing a very remarkable job filling in for Jaheim White, running back number 1, who's out for the season, the result of a knee injury. Picked up 5 on the play. Roddy, what do you make of the fact that we have only seen 1 quarterback so far for the Mountaineers?
Well, I think it means that they like the way Nico Marchio is operating this offense.
Hands it off on 2nd down. Nowhere to go that time. Marchio came in a couple of seasons ago for Garrett Green, who was injured, and managed the game well enough for the Mountaineers to win.
Mark, I think the reason that we've seen Marchio is he's hit most of the layups. The thing is, he's got to take care of the ball in these situations.
He's looking at 3rd and 6 here. Tries to take off, is going to be brought down at the 17-yard line by Nick James. And that's going to be a 2-yard gain on the play and a quick 3 and out.
Francis Brew with great pressure on Marchio in that last play. And a good quick change, sudden change stop by this Pitt defense to get the ball back to their offense.
Interesting that Desmond Reed has not been on the field for the last 2 punt returns or the last 2 possessions for Pitt. Kenny Johnson with the catch back there eschewed the fair catch call and is brought down immediately at the 42-yard line. Rich Rodriguez right now is hotter than July, even though his team is leading by a touchdown.
Gritty Iron City football, and we are going to kick them in the mouth for 4 quarters. It's going to be a...
Back to ESPN College Football presented by Chili's here from Morgantown, West Virginia. You're looking at Desmond Reed, RB number 1, the tailback, but he's been on the sidelines for the last couple of series. Quinn Kesnick down in the field monitoring that situation. Right now it's Jules Goff at tailback, and we've got some linen down in the field.
You can't have that coming out of a timeout.
You think?
You got a stoppage, media timeout, and you get a procedure penalty because the center snaps the ball when you've got 2 guys in motion.
False start. Offense. 11 players were never set for the full second before the snap. 5-yard penalty. First down.
There have been some flashpoints already here in the first half. There was an INT thrown in the end zone by Holstein. He's been sacked a couple of times, and a missed 43-yard field goal by Pittsburgh.
Pitt came in favored in this game, but this defense from West Virginia has had them on the back foot.
Jules Goff in the backfield. On the RPO, the pass complete at the 40-yard line to the tight end. Pardon me, that's Bryce Yates. Check that, Holmes. 5-yard gain on the play, and for every 20 years, Allstate has celebrated every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by donating to the university's General Scholarship Fund, supporting student athletes. Thank you, Allstate. On 2nd and 10, Holstein had it batted down, deflected at the line of scrimmage. Eddie Kelly Jr., transfer from Mizzou, with awesome length and experience, and he jumps off the page at you at 6'6", Roddy.
Well, Zach Alley, defensive coordinator, said he's 6'7".
Yeah.
Looks like he belongs in the SEC. Sets up a big 3rd down for this Pitt offense. I would expect somebody to get the ball out of Eli Holstein's hands quick, particularly if it looks like West Virginia's going to bring pressure.
He's 10 of 18, and 96 yards passing. Holstein, pressure coming, and he's brought down short of the first down at the 44. Gain of 2, and once again, it's Kelly Jr. Orlando, Florida.
Pitt opting to go with the downfield throw, and they actually picked up a blitz. Both linebackers blitzing through the A-gaps. West Virginia picked it up, or Pitt picked it up pretty well, but West Virginia's still able to get off the field because no one's open downfield.
Good coverage, and Junko with the punt. Places it perfectly at the 3-yard line. Mountaineers with 97 yards to go as we check in with the studio.
All right, Matt Barry back in our college football studio. I want to update you on some of the action in the 3:30 window. Arch Manning in Texas. Arch pulls it, fakes it, scores it. 7-0 UT over UTEP. Plus, Zachariah Branch. He makes it a game in Rocky Top. Look at that pass and blocking from Georgia. He outraces Tennessee's defense right now, 21-14 Tennessee.
Hey, what about Arch Manning? What do you make of all the discourse around him so far?
I think he's a young quarterback, and like young quarterbacks, had a tough week 1 assignment on the road at Ohio State. Needs time to develop. He's incredibly talented, but you got to ask for something that people don't have nowadays. Patience with Arch Manning. He's going to improve.
Saw him last year. He can turn it around in a hurry. Out of the end zone, Edwards got around that left side. A decent gain. Braylon Lovelace making the tackle on the play. Edwards picks up 6.
Javon McIntyre, the safety, had a chance at Ty Edwards in the backfield, but 225, stiff-armed to 195. Got a nice gain on first down.
Simple physics. On the counter, Edwards with a first down, bouncing it outside now. And Edwards pushed out of bounds. They're going to spot it at the 36.
Well, it's the couple blocks by number 54, Walter Bear Young, and then the tight end that are able to spring Ty Edwards on the edge. And the secret to beating this Pitt defense that dedicates so many bodies to stopping the run, you can run the football or hit explosive plays down the field. Those are ways to really gash this Pitt defense.
And that was the longest run of the day, 27 yards. Bowers that time up and over. Picks up a couple of yards. Second down and 8 coming up, approaching 4 minutes to go in the first half. Mountaineers with some 80 new players this year, but Coach Rodriguez telling us that to a man they sense the significance of this regional rivalry. The ball seemed to come out. Pitt could have had it, couldn't squeeze it, still loose. They're still looking to locate it, and the Mountaineers may have caught a break and recovered it. Wow.
Ball was on the field for longer than it takes between snaps for West Virginia to run a play.
Bowers kicked it out of the hands of his own quarterback, Marchio, right there. And that's where the fun began.
Starts with the low snap.
Oh, geez.
What was Braylon Lovelace doing? Just hold on to the ball.
That's why he's playing defense.
Yeah, no kidding. Looked like he could have just held on to that thing. Maybe it knocked it out when he hit the ground, but wow. Man, what an opportunity lost for Pitt.
All that, Roddy, and a loss of 2 yards as a result. Back at the 37, 3rd and 9. Marchio gets it out. Ash with the catch. Marquez with the tackle. 3-yard gain on the play. And 4th down coming up. There's a flag down in the field as well.
I think it's just a mouthpiece. And I'll tell you what, West Virginia was about one block away from hitting their head on the goalpost there. And Pitt sent the house up the field.
I guess they're just going to pick the flag up. Oh, it's a mouthpiece. Check that. Like you said. Here's the punt from Straw. And it comes down to Kenny Johnson with a fair catch. A little over 2.5 to go. We talk about some of the greats that participated in this rivalry. Darrell Revis is one of the best. 2006, Pat McAfee punted the ball in the second quarter. You remember that him? And this is what happened afterwards. West Virginia would win the game. And Darrell Revis with a wonderful punt return.
Yes, it was. I'll tell you what, Mark, there were a lot of blocks on that punt return that you can't throw nowadays. Saw some targeting, saw some illegal blindside blocks.
The game has evolved a little bit.
Football has changed.
Off in the backfield, Holstein with a clean pocket, overshoots his receiver, Poppy Williams. Incomplete. What's up, Q?
Desmond Reed remains a spectator on the far sideline, on Pitt's sideline. He's got his helmet on. It looks like he's ready to come back in the game. He hasn't been receiving any attention from the training staff, but this will be the 3rd consecutive drive that he's a spectator. That's a big deal. This is a guy who averages over 150 yards all-purpose for the Panthers.
Yeah,
so
rushing and receiving.
So good with the ball in his hands, creates mismatches in the receiving game, as you were saying, Mark.
A little motion out of the backfield, and nice catch that time by Bryce Yates. Picked up 6. Setting up 3rd down.
I wonder if you're Pitt, if you don't take this thing to the 2-minute timeout. They do not.
Holstein fires, got a man, and some unclaimed domain out in front of Yates. Still on the loose. Down to the 5, 1st and goal, Pitt. That was the big one they've been looking for. 68 yards. All right, thanks a lot, Matt. 1:55 to go, coming out of the 2-minute timeout. Holstein, after that 68-yard longest play of the game, the ball appeared to be fumbled momentarily. Holstein falls forward around the 5-yard line, and again, Roddy, a little bit of loose handling of the football, it appeared.
Yeah, Eli Holstein pretty fortunate that thing didn't come out and hit the ground.
And he's slow to get his sensibilities back here.
Yeah. That'll bring in Cole Gonzalez, for a play at least.
Gonzalez, a 6', 200-pound senior from Gainesville, Florida, an Oklahoma transfer. Starting to warm up there with 1:48 to go. What does Pitt need to do to get this ball into the end zone and get on the scoreboard?
Well, big question is how much do you trust Cole Gonzalez to throw the ball? Because I think if you're West Virginia, you got the backup quarterback coming in. You're going to come after the quarterback and try and stop the run. Desmond Reed also not in the game. We just saw an offensive lineman for Pitt exit the game as well. So you may be down one of your starters in the offensive line, down your starting quarterback, and down your starting running back.
Wow. Here's a look at that last play. There's a malfunction at the junction with that exchange between him and his running back, Goff. And he immediately took his helmet off.
West Virginia has elected to take their first timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. 30-second timeout.
So West Virginia, in that situation, the injury to Eli Holstein stopped the clock. That would be subject to a 10-second runoff.
Right.
Pitt would want the 10-second runoff. Drain the clock a little bit, try and get out of here in the next couple plays. Closer to halftime, West Virginia does not want the 10-second runoff, so they take the timeout to avoid the runoff.
My partner's up on the rules, folks. He's on it.
Man, I'm texting with Matt Austin all the time. He gets me right. He gets me right.
Second and goal coming up. Big games coming up on college football today. That Miami, South Florida game that Matt was alluding to a moment ago, and LSU, Florida.
Correction. West Virginia will not take their timeout and decline the 10-second runoff. The clock will start on the snap.
Oh, so there you go. See, we should have brought in Matt. Matt.
What's up, Matt?
We were almost right, but what was going on there?
Well, the Pitt player was hurt, so the 10-second subtraction would be the choice of the opposite team, which would be West Virginia. If they want to keep clock time on the clock, they just decline the 10-second subtraction.
Yeah, see?
No timeout necessary.
This is why I should have sent the text to Matt.
Matt, thanks for being there for us. Second and goal coming up. Ball perched at the 5-yard line. Desmond Reed, the most potent force offensively for the Panthers, not in the football game. Goff in the backfield. Pass way over the head of the intended receiver. Fowler, L. Wow. Gonzalez just airmailed that.
I don't know how, if you're Cade Bell.
That thing was higher than San Francisco rent.
Not only that, but it looked like a punt. I don't know how, if you're Cade Bell, the offensive coordinator for Pitt, you call another pass, because that thing looked like Cole Gonzalez was juiced up. Whew. West Virginia still has all 3 timeouts. If you get a stop here, West Virginia's going to get the ball back with plenty of time. I would expect Pat Narduzzi's going to call a timeout.
Yeah, play clock already down to 4. And there's the timeout. On third and goal.
30 seconds.
Holstein still on the sidelines. Cole Gonzalez in the football game for his second play. And without Des Reed, their imperious force offensively. Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Allstate. Here in week 3. What jumps off the page at you, partner?
Well, that top 25 matchup down in South Florida, Miami up 7-0 in Miami Gardens, where they play their games. How about Georgia trailing 21-14? They were down 21-7. Now they've clawed back in this thing. It's interesting to see how that one plays out. If you go down a little further in the rankings, Clemson at number 12 certainly going to drop out of the rankings this week.
Let's go down to Q.
You need a good cut man in your corner. Eli Holstein ducks into the injury tent. They tape him together, stitch him up. He's back in the ball game.
Part of backyard brawl lore. On third and goal, Holstein into the end zone. Boy, there was some miscommunication between Kenny Johnson, his receiver, and Eli Holstein. Holstein, and it's fourth and goal coming up. In comes the field goal unit.
And I think Kenny Johnson was right on that one. They bracketed him with the safety inside and the corner outside. Eli Holstein's expecting him to run the fade. There was nowhere to go on the fade. Yeah. Eli Holstein fortunate that fell harmlessly to the turf.
From the 23-yard line, Butkowski. It's a sharp angle, but knocks it through. 7-3 ball game with 1:37 to go in the first half. You would have to consider that a little bit of a win for the Mountaineers defensively.
Absolutely. You had Pitt in a 3rd and long situation, and then the big play to Bryce Yates down the field gets Pitt inside the 10-yard line. Pitt a little unlucky that Eli Holstein gets banged up and is out for that 2nd down play. But a big win for West Virginia defensively, and I think you would consider this half of football a win for West Virginia's defense. They've been excellent here in the first quarter. And Pitt's only got they're over 200 yards of total offense now, but they started really slowly.
Take a look at Pat Narduzzi and what it sounded like pregame after the kick here. The two schools are separated by just 75 miles on Interstate 79. You don't want to do that drive at nighttime, though.
No,
I did it from the Pittsburg airport, man.
It's dark.
Those roads are windy.
Those country roads.
Fair catch called. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Mountaineers. Here's what it sounded like pregame.
Let's go, coach him up today. Let's go, wideouts. Let's go, Poppy. You're always open. Let's go. Turn loose. Win a motor today. You got me? Let's go. Let's go. Line starts up here. Starts with you guys. Let's go. Execute. Focus. Great focus, baby. Let's go. Yes, sir. Looking fast right here now. White lightning.
Right now it's on his defense, former defensive coordinator, and several stops, including Michigan State several years ago. 1st down and 10 for West Virginia. Handoff is to Clay Ash. How surprised are you that we've only seen one quarterback for the Mountaineers so far?
The way that they've operated offensively and really the way their defense is playing, you want the quarterback that's going to take care of the football. And Pat Narduzzi knew, based on what you just saw, this game was going to be a close one. It's playing out that way. 6
of 8 games decided by 7 or less. A nice rope complete to the sidelines. Number 29, Preston Fox. They've got 3 timeouts remaining, a 12-yard game. 1st and 10 from the 40.
Plenty of time. The kicker, Cade Hensley's already missed from 44 in the game, but we were told Ethan Head could hit from 50-ish, so that's where West Virginia's looking to get.
Between the tackles this time, Clay Ash out of Leesburg, Virginia. And there's going to be a timeout called.
Timeout. West Virginia.
Mountaineers will use their first of
30 seconds.
3.
To go back to the quarterback situation, Mark, I think that West Virginia would go to another quarterback if you're looking for a spark in the run game and you need that quarterback run to be a part of it. Or if the quarterback was really struggling to hit basic throws, easy access, open throws. Nico Marchiol, for the most part, has been pretty good at hitting those. And then while his numbers aren't eye-popping, that's 76 yards. A lot of that comes on 1st and 2nd down to get drives going. You want the guy that's not going to turn the ball over in a defensive struggle like we've got.
And I love what Coach Rodriguez told us. He said, it's not what you call, it's what you can execute.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And Marchiol has been executing fairly well, 9 of 11 passing so far. His team leading where it counts. Ash in the backfield. Marchiol rolling to his left and throws back across his body, incomplete, intended for Cam Vaughn. Well, kick off your Week 2 NFL Sunday with the Countdown Crew on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Saquon Barkley goes one-on-one with Marty Smith. Aaron Rodgers makes his Pittsburgh home debut. And Randy's best catches of the week in You Got Mossed. All coming up tomorrow morning. Under a minute to play in the first half in a low-scoring game so far. This is Ash. Stopped up after a gain of about a couple yards, and a timeout called by Pittsburgh. With 53 seconds to go, that'll be the Panthers' second timeout. 4th and 5 coming up. So what's the thinking here now for Narduzzi and Pitt?
Correction, that is Pitt's 3rd and final timeout.
Pardon me, that's their 3rd and final timeout.
They're trying to get the ball back to their offense that operates with a lot of tempo. Naturally, you get them the ball back with somewhere around 45 seconds left.
Okay.
You can drive down, get a long field goal, or I mean, they've already hit West Virginia for one long play in the game. Maybe you can find yourself getting another one of those and sneak out of here with another score before West Virginia gets the ball first in the second half.
And one of the prevailing storylines emerging right now is Desmond Reed. Big weapon offensively for Pitt. Has not been in the ball game for most of, if not all of, the second quarter. And on the sidelines for a while, as documented a moment ago by Quentin Kesnick down to the field. Kenny Johnson is back deep for this punt from his own 8-yard line. Junko gets it down to Johnson, who fields it inside the 10, makes it out to the 11-yard line with 43 seconds to go. A 51-yard punt, 6 on the return. Begs the question right now, how much more, or if we will see any more of Desmond Reed, one of the big variables in the ball game.
He looks pretty down on the sideline. It's just a snapshot. It's not a fair one, but I mean, we have not seen him for much of this first half.
Really explosive player.
Their most explosive player, most dangerous player with the ball in his hands, although Kenny Johnson is as well.
Goff in the backfield beside Holstein. Poppy Williams in motion. Holstein off his back foot. Throws it into traffic. Almost got intercepted. A dangerous throw. Michael Coates Jr. was right there. Boy, he could have had himself an interception here.
I mean, this is served on a platter. Go up and catch the football. It's actually a pretty nice job by the tight end, Justin Holmes, of knocking that thing away, getting a mid in there. But man, that could have been phenomenal for West Virginia. But now, if Pitt throws another incomplete pass, it gets a short game. West Virginia still has 2 timeouts.
37 seconds to go. Holstein couldn't pull, sacked back at the 3-yard line. Boy, what a great surge that time by the front.
West Virginia's desperately trying to call a timeout. Rich Rodriguez has been trying to call it for about 5 seconds.
They finally get it. 3rd sack of the day by the Mountaineers, Roddy.
He's been under pressure all first half. Reed Carrico on the blitz, finds the open space and gets in the backfield.
Carrico back from injury. A force on that play. Sterinin as well, number 96 in on the play, and Eddie Kelly Jr. has had some brilliant moments defensively on that line for the Mountaineers.
Please reset the game clock to 30 seconds. 30 seconds, please.
They're going to reset the game clock to 30 seconds. As Rich Rodriguez was trying to call that timeout over and over and over. So they put 6 seconds back on the clock, and then West Virginia's going to have some time and maybe great field position after, if they're able to prevent Pitt from getting any more yardage.
We have a Week 2 Monday Night Football doubleheader coming up. Bucks-Texans started a special time, 7 Eastern on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Deportes. The Chargers and Raiders will follow on ESPN, Deportes, and the app. NFL Live kicks us off at 3 Eastern, followed by SVP and the Countdown Crew at 5. 2 of 10 on 3rd downs this afternoon for Holstein and the Panthers. Out of the end zone. Complete, but short of the first down, out to the 13. Hicks with a catch and run. And 4th down coming up for the Panthers after that gate of 8.
West Virginia,
that was not a trivial game by Pittsburgh. It gives them more room to punt the football. But West Virginia with the stop and the quick stop because of that first down pass.
Yeah.
They're going to get the ball back with some time left on the clock. And if they can get a return, they may be in great field position.
Preston Fox, one of their punt returners. In this, how surprised are you, Roddy, that this football game is as low scoring as it is so far?
I would say a little surprised. The question was going to be, how does West Virginia's defense stack up against this Pitt offense that's been really prolific to start the year, albeit sometimes inconsistent running the football. And they've done a great job stopping the run, forcing Eli Holstein to throw the ball. And inside the 10-yard line, Pitt's had 2 trips inside the 10 and only come up with 3 points.
5th punt of the afternoon for Junko. He'll take a bounce at the 40-yard line. Clock running, and it'll stop with 13 seconds to go. Neither team with timeouts remaining. A 56-yard punt, most of it dribble.
He probably wasted about 5 or 6 seconds by letting that punt hit the ground.
See what Nico Marchiol can get done here in 13 seconds of play. Quarterback who a couple of years ago came on in relief of Garrett Green, who was injured. Managed the game well and led the Mountaineers to a win. Last year, the Panthers with the answer in a late comeback victory. Marchiol taking a shot down the sidelines and an overthrow with 8 seconds to go. Got a flag down on the field as well.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 5, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wow. A little bit of a gift that time from the Panthers defensively.
Yeah, and it's not much, but it's not much at all. I don't like that roughing the passer. It may be roughing the passer by the letter of the law. Let's ask Matt Austin. Matt, what do you think about that roughing the passer? I don't like it.
Well, from that view, I'm not crazy about it either, but you don't really have a good view when you're looking through the defender. So it didn't look like he took extra steps or anything. He was a little high, but not that high.
From the 46 as a result. How many plays he can get off? This probably will be the last one. Marchiol got to safely get down, picked up the first down, and a flag is thrown after the 12-yard gain, and this might put them in field goal range.
It certainly is. It's going to be on Rasheem Biles. I mean, Nico Marchiol sitting on the ground, and Biles throws in an extra hit. And it's a defensive penalty. They're going to get a shot at a field goal here.
Cade Hensley might have an opportunity. Either him or Ethan Head, who's the long-range place kicker.
I think it's going to be a late hit. Well, you're going to get triple zeros if this is a defensive penalty. And then, Matt, you'd get one untimed down, which could be a field goal, correct?
Well, it depends on the timing. If the clock was at 0 when the foul occurred, this will be enforced in the second half.
Oh.
If there's a second left, then they would take it now.
Is that because the foul would have been occurred after the play is over?
That's correct.
It's a late hit? Yeah.
Just 2 seconds. So let's take a look here.
There's 1 second.
It had not hit 0 yet. Yeah, it appeared as if there was a second to go. Which means a scenario of them being able to kick a field goal on an untimed down would play out, right?
The ruling on the field is that the line to gain was reached. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense. However, the line to gain was reached with 1 second on the clock. By rule, because West Virginia does not have any timeouts, the half is over.
Explanations don't get any better than that.
No kidding.
Matt, what do you make of it?
Well, that's exactly what the rule is. There needs to be 3 seconds or more under that circumstances for them. And when you have 3 seconds, you could snap the ball and spike it. If 1 or 2 seconds, then the half's over, because the clock would have run immediately after they spotted the ball because of the first down. So no timeouts left. That's it. It's halftime.
7-3. And you get the feeling that the temperature on the field, like penalty, but seemingly no consequences as a result. You said it, there's a loophole there.
There is, and we're having discussions with multiple people about whether or not it'd be enforced in the second half, whether kicking off from 35-yard line, so let's look at it.
Bowie from the goal line. With a nice right turn, there's a flag down. Bowie down at about the 25-yard line. Markiel will take the reins of the offense from there.
During the return, holding, return team, number 11. Penalties half the distance to the goal, first down.
Let's go down to Quint.
Desmond Reed of Pittsburgh is unlikely to return in this game, out with a lower body injury, and you're going to see a quarterback change, I believe, right now. It looks like Scotty Fox, the freshman from Mentor, Ohio, is taking snaps right now. This is a young man who busted one against Robert Morris, a 59-yard touchdown run. He was an early enrollee, and the fans certainly like the rookie.
This is the second quarterback we're seeing for the Mountaineers. For the first time, Fox hands it off to Edwards, who is emerging as a nice force in place of Jaheim White. If you're just joining us, White out for the season, the top running back for the Mountaineers. Jaden Bray also out. And Markiel on the sidelines observing now. This is one of their quarterbacks they feel might have the most upside, and he went up and got rocked. No gain on the play. Brookins applying the hit.
Yeah, he went up and got dumped on his side on that one, but they did say he's got the highest ceiling. They love the potential of the freshman.
That's not what you did there.
That was smooth. You talked about upside.
I think you're slick. Down the sidelines, a little bit high, incomplete. Intended for Weimer. And a quick 3 and out for the Mountaineers.
Mountaineers go 3 and out in about 56 seconds. I mean, that's the downside of going fast, but Scotty Fox had that throw. Ended up being cover 2. There's a space in between the safety and the corner where you can hit that receiver. Just overcooked it, threw it high, and it ends up, and as you said, a 3 and out instead of a first down.
Straw with the punt. Kenny Johnson ran out of real estate on the sidelines, but the Panthers will have decent field position on this, their first possession of the second half. They'll spot it at the 45-yard line of Pitt. It'll be 1st and 10 from there for Eli Holstein after that 44-yard punt. And you talked about that offensive line trying to make him a little bit more comfortable. By the numbers, that's what it looks like so far for the Panthers.
The other thing you could do for Pitt is run the football. They've got 26 yards rushing in that first half. Not a great performance there.
Goff in the backfield. Tight end Justin Holmes in motion. He makes the catch. Turns north-south and is close to the first down. Great adjustment there to change his momentum from going east-west.
That little motion and dump to the flat has been open a couple of times for Pittsburgh. I expect him to go back to it because West Virginia isn't adjusting much when they're in this 3-safety look to that motion, allowing an easy pitch and catch.
On 2nd and 1, Goff will pick up the first down. Jules Goff last week ran 6 times for 16 yards in their win. Picks up 4 there. Holstein from the 42-yard line. Williams, the inside receiver to the bottom of your screen, number 5. And somewhat conspicuous by silence this afternoon. Hicks in motion. Holstein looks that way and gets down safely at about the 38-yard line. No, they're going to mark it back at the 40.
Nice job of movement in the pocket by Eli Holstein because you're going to get the blitz off the edge. Holstein has to climb in the pocket, and then he does a nice job of getting down, but when you slide, they mark it where you start the slide, which is why he didn't get those extra couple of yards.
Sets up 2nd and 8. Thomas in motion. Hicks on the reverse and upended in the backfield. Wow. Jason Chambers knifing in there like a missile. And made it a good tackle, a 2-yard loss on the play.
Yeah, it's tough because it ends up being a corner blitz. You're running a reverse into. That's just the defense having the right play call against your trick play. Chambers makes a really nice play, and now here's the 3rd down where Pitt it's been really tough for him. 2 of 11 on 3rd down so far.
Johnson in motion. He makes the catch, almost incomplete. Took his eyes off it. Wow, what looked like a promising start after good field position turns into a punting situation now for the Panthers.
Well, the other part is it's an off-target throw from Eli Holstein. I mean, those smoke screens, Nick Saban talked about it on game day this morning. Most important thing is an accurate throw from the quarterback because the guy's got to catch it and run. If your receiver's going to have to go to his back hip to catch the football, limits his opportunity to run with it after.
Got to make it easy for him, right?
Have to.
Junko into punt. Nose of the football down, end over end punt. That caroms into the end zone. It'll come back out 1st and 10 on the 42-yard punt. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, quintessent down in the field. This is QB2 in the ball game now. Scotty Fox Jr., who keeps it himself, picks up a few yards. Rasheem Biles making the tackle on the play.
With the quarterback switch, the question is going to be for Rich Rodriguez. How long do you want to play the quarterback position conservatively and just play this as a defensive ball game? And apparently the halftime break gave him the opportunity to talk with his coaches and put the freshman in and try and get something going because this offense really hit neutral.
Good time to realize some of that upside. Nice sweep and run by Edwards, still on his feet. Great dash. Finally tackled by Biles. 18-yard pickup. And this young man is emerging as a strong factor for the Mountaineers right now.
Yeah, and he was almost at 100 yards already. They were really anticipating what he could do.
This time Fox keeps it himself. Brought down by Brookins. 2nd down coming up, no gain on the play.
At some point, Mark, you feel like West Virginia is going to have to challenge these safeties or corners down the field. Potentially with Cam Vaughn, who is showing some really strong hands. Get a look, you'd love to try and hit him deep with something.
Cam Vaughn's the guy they wanted to target a lot. Fox Jr. completes it out to the edge. Smith Brown on the way. Smith Brown dragged down at the 3. There's the big one they've been searching for. 1st and goal, West Virginia. Brookins saved a touchdown for the Panthers. 56 yards in all. And we have an injured player, that's Brookins.
Well, they just get Kyle Lewis out in space with Justin Smith-Brown. He's able to hesitate just enough to make Kyle Lewis stop his feet and then gets up the field, and it's all speed from there. A nice, easy pitch and catch for the quarterback. You create space for your receiver away from that apex player, that player that's just outside of the box between the box and the receivers. That's Kyle Lewis, who is so athletic and so good, the All-American. He just hesitates, gets up the field for an explosive play, ends up a little banged up. Looks like he might have
holding the back of his leg, his hamstring area.
Yeah, blown a tire on that one.
Look at Kyle Lewis on the sidelines, the linebacker of the Panthers with the Theragun on his leg.
He's not been as impactful as we thought today. I wonder how much that's been bothering him.
1st and goal, not on the field now. Fox Jr. hands it off to his tailback, Edwards. Here's a look at Lewis.
Yeah, hesitate, he dives, and a little limp there. I don't know if it happened on that burst or if it had been bothering him.
He's won twice in this rivalry and lost once against West Virginia. Nick James is the player down in the field. Backup defensive tackle for the Panthers. There he is.
West Virginia has clearly been more willing to run the football with the quarterback, with Scotty Fox in the game. I don't know how much you trust the freshman quarterback throwing the ball down here, but with a big 225-pound back and Ty Edwards, at some point, might think about just having him lead up on a linebacker and have the quarterback follow him. All that beef in the game.
You're not talking about old-fashioned ISO ball, are you?
Something like that. And you got two tight ends.
7-3. Mountaineers looking for the score here. Fox Jr. stopped up at about the 2-yard line. As you said, he tried to run it on his own. No gain on the play. 3rd and goal coming up.
Yeah, I don't love the sweep in that situation, because this Pitt defense, you look at the linebackers, they go 220, 220, and 220. There's not a lot of weight there at the linebacker position.
And West Virginia's offensive line, 5 of their top 8 offensive linemen going back to last year are gone. It's a relatively new group up there, looking for a little bit of push on 3rd and goal, and we had some premature movement up front. Looking at Isaiah Neal there.
Offside. Defense. Number 2. Penalties half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
Half the distance to the goal will place the football just inside the 1.
Mark, you have a couple of extra offensive linemen in the game. 2 of them lined up in the backfield, looking like they were ready to do some damage. They're in that same formation.
Got the jumbo package. Edwards. Looks like there's a flag down. He got into the end zone. Touchdown. Will it stand, though?
Offside. Defense. That penalty is declined. The play results in a touchdown.
Mountaineer touchdown stands. Penalty against Pittsburgh. Here's another look.
You're going to see the jump across the end by Rasheem Biles. And honestly, when you're a defense backed up like that, you might as well try and time up the snap. An offsides penalty costs you about 6 inches.
Right.
And you're that close to the goal line. But nonetheless, Ty Edwards, who's been maybe the surprise of the game, gets in the end zone. At least as of right now.
Yeah. They're going to take another look at this. The ruling on the field was a touchdown. That's what happens in some of these rivalry games. You get somebody injured or out for the season like Jaheim White, and somebody else has an opportunity to emerge. And right now, that name is Deuce Edwards, number 2.
I mean, it certainly looks like he's across, reaches the ball across the line and lands in there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the ball's right there. We can't see where his legs are, but as his upper half at least goes down, that ball looks like it's clearly across, and it's, certainly from that angle, there's nothing to overturn the call on the field.
Here's another look. See where that knee and or forearm
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown.
Still a touchdown. Ty Edwards with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the afternoon. And now creeping towards 100 yards rushing with a healthy 7-yard average. In an afternoon when Pitt might have been concerned about how many different quarterbacks they might face or which quarterback they might face, it's been Ty Edwards that has been the guy that has been the unsuspecting hero so far. And right now the Mountaineers standing on business at the crib, leading 14-3 with just under 8.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Mark Jones Up in the booth alongside Roddy Jones, Quintessing it down to the field. This Pittsburgh offense has been arrhythmic so far, without any kind of beat. And look at the impressive numbers on Ty Edwards, who's had a rather circuitous journey so far in college football.
No kidding.
Several different schools.
A guy who spent 2019 at Georgia Military Academy, 2020 and 21 at Hutchinson Community College, 2022 at UTSA, where he had 14 carries for 44 yards at the FBS level, and then 2 years at Northern Iowa, now making an impact in the backyard brawl. All due to a preliminary injunction and temporary restraining order that was issued by a West Virginia judge in August.
How about that? Turner on the run, getting an opportunity to get a carry here. Gets his first touch of the football game in the backfield. Turner, a freshman out of Wildwood, Florida, picked up 2 yards, second down. Holstein steps up, has a man. Poppy with the catch. Poppy pushed out of bounds just before the 5 at the 7-yard line. Fred Perry saved a touchdown, but a long gain by the Panthers of 66 yards. First and goal.
Well, they finally get him on a safety, Fred Perry, who tries to grab him and throw him off. But Poppy Williams, the speed, too fast until he's able to get down inside the 10-yard line. And now Pitt has to punch it in. They've already had 2 trips inside the 10-yard line. One ended in an interception and one in a field goal.
Holstein hands it off to his tailback, Turner. And Turner is brought down at about the 2-yard line. This is their 3rd red zone possession of the football game. They only have 3 points to show for it. Remember, if you're just joining us, Desmond Reed, maybe their best player offensively, is done for the day with an injury. Second and goal coming up. We've seen Goff get carries. Now it's Turner's turn in the backfield. And West Virginia is going to use one of its 3 timeouts.
West Virginia,
we're going to take a timeout as well and play a few Bills. Back after this break. In the backyard brawl, 14-3. Mountaineers backed up right now after that 66-yard pass and catch by Poppy Williams. Second and goal. They fake the jet sweep. Momentum moving forward for Turner. And Turner is brought down just inside the 1. Third and goal coming up.
I mean, this is guts time for Pittsburgh. Old school. These are 2 blue-collar programs, and this is a blue-collar down inside the 1-yard line. Who wants it more?
Turner in the backfield. Holstein sends his man in motion, keeps it himself, and glides into the end zone for the touchdown. Their first touchdown of the game coming with 6:16 to go in the 3rd quarter. And they're going to go for 2.
Trying to make this a 3-point game. Wise of Pat Narduzzi to go ahead, try for the 2-point conversion. Really good play call. That cross motion got 2 players out of position.
Go for Dos, brought to you by Dos Equis. They scored 19-4. Holstein into the end zone. Incomplete. Hicks was pushed out of bounds, even though he seemed to make the catch. Wow, that's close.
Yes, it was.
So it remains 14-9.
Yeah, I mean, it was right on the back line of the end zone. It's a good throw by Eli Holstein. If that right foot was down before the left,
that looked like the right one's touchdown first.
The right foot comes back in bounds and touches, I think, slightly before the left. I mean, of all the reviews that we had,
that looks good to me. Let's bring in Matt Austin. Matt, what do you make of this?
Yeah, Mark, Roddy is exactly right. If that, I guess it's his right foot, touched in the blue, he did have firm control of the ball. If that right foot did touch in the blue before the second foot stepped out of bounds, that's a good catch and good for 2 points.
Look at the concentration, though, by Blue Hicks. I mean, his eyes are looking straight down at the ground.
Talk about staying in the moment and present.
I mean, he looks down to get his feet in bounds. What awareness by Blue Hicks.
His right foot appeared to be down before his left touched out of bounds.
Yeah, right foot's down right there. Right before the left comes in.
By a split second.
He almost got the left in, too.
Yeah, that's a heck of a play by Blue Hicks. Taurus Hicks, a.k.a. Blue. Wouldn't be surprised if they changed the call. The ruling on the field was no good on the 2-point conversion.
I think it's going to be overturned to conversion good. We're in a 3-point ball game because of the incredible body control and awareness by Blue Hicks.
Out of a great high school program in South Florida and Miami. Miami Central, the Rockets. There must be overwhelming, indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field.
Yeah, that clear and obvious evidence is what we're looking for. I think that was pretty clear and fairly obvious.
Sure looked like it. Matt, would that be clear and obvious? Well, we're going to find out right now.
Very close.
After review, the receiver had possession and a foot in bounds. The 2-point try is good.
There's the answer. Taurus Hicks to his teammates is just Blue.
Yeah, when he makes a play like that, you're my boy, Blue. He's Blue Hicks. Taurus is when he does something wrong.
Yeah, he blew by the defender for the catch. Got his feet down, and we have, as you alluded to, a 3-point game. Hey, you deserve to celebrate a little bit with a play like the one he just made.
One was all set up by the big play downfield to Poppy Williams. Pitt finding a way to be explosive despite the struggles that they've had at times offensively.
On the return, it'll be a fair catch. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, Matt Berry back in our college football studio. Here's how Georgia has gotten back in this game to take the lead. Steady dose of running the ball. Remember, they were down 21-7 at one point. They are now up 24-21. In the SEC nightcap, they're already doing stuff in Baton Rouge. LSU and Florida getting into a shoving match on the field pregame. Oh, set the table for the big one tonight.
Hey, Matt, they're just ego tripping and lip splitting right there. Saying hello. The ball came loose, but the runner was down on the play.
That's a rivalry. It's a rivalry there.
It's second down.
I was thinking we might see some of that here today.
Yeah, which I think this fan base has been really well behaved. So we get another look. Scotty Fox clearly down before the ball pops out. Everyone's been very well behaved here today. Mark?
You sound disappointed. I am. Need a little bit of rancor and some bitterness.
We've got a great game.
Yes, yes we do.
This play is under review.
Oh, of course it's under review.
A collective groan from the stands. The previous play under review.
I don't know why we're reviewing this one. It was it's very clear that his backside's on the ground. He was down, and the ball is ripped out when he's on the ground.
This was, Rich Rodriguez in his second time around here at West Virginia. Won 4 conference titles in his first 8 years here. on campus and said he wanted to come back to finish the job. Of course, college football has transformed, and the formula is a little bit different right now. Steve Slayton and Noel Devine and Major Harris ain't coming through that door.
The ruling on the field is upheld. Second down.
You don't say. You mentioned, though, the landscape of college football much different for Rich Rodriguez from when he was here the first time. The thing is, he's been having success in this era of college football. Did a great job at Jacksonville State for a few years before he came over to West Virginia, so he knows how to operate the portal. And as he has a full offseason, I think we're going to see this West Virginia team get even better.
Fox Jr. out of the pocket, picked off at the 38-yard line. It's coming back. Kyle Lewis, the All-American, with a big-time play, making his presence known and bumping his gums a little bit too.
4 interceptions a year ago, and Kyle Lewis just sinks, goes through number 2, gets under the number 1 receiver, and the freshman Scotty Fox doesn't account for him at all. A massive play by the All-American linebacker who had 4 interceptions a year ago.
First interception this season for Pittsburgh. They call him K9. Got a lot of dog in him there. Man, he read that play extremely. He was waiting on that throw.
He was daring him to throw the ball, hoping he would throw the ball. And Scotty Fox sure did.
And Pittsburgh right back in it now in the red zone.
And Mark, that's the danger of having a true freshman quarterback in.
Johnson in motion. They fake the jet sweep on the blitz. Holstein escapes it and pretty much got back to the line of scrimmage. Somebody missed a tackle, though. That would have been a nice sack. Might have been Carrico. Well, we talked about the fact there's a lot of animosity in this rivalry. And we saw K9 bumping his gums right there.
You get an interception and you get to the quarterback's face.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to do it. The thing, West Virginia has not done a great job of getting Eli Holstein to the ground when they've gotten to him. He's broken a bunch of tackles in the backfield that could have ended in more sacks.
Johnson in motion. Makes the catch on the receiver screen. Made a couple of guys miss and weaves his way down to the 7-yard line. Nice move by Kenny Johnson.
2 defenders, Darian Lewis and Fred Perry, had an opportunity. This is the 4th red zone trip for Pitt. The first one ended in an interception. Second ended in a field goal. They were able to punch it in the end zone last time in the red zone just a few minutes ago. And now a 3rd and short to continue this drive. And they've had so much success throwing the football, not a lot running the ball. Do they dare put it in the air? They try and just play big boy ball.
Come out in 12 personnel, a couple of tight ends, running back, and the direct snap comes out to Spawn, and he's brought down short of the end zone. There's a flag down on the play.
Holding. Offense, number 88. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It's going to go against Justin Holmes.
Here he is on the end of the line of scrimmage. He tries to hook the defensive end and just grabs the outside. Eddie Kelly can't get free, and it gets called. It's an easy call for the officials and moves it back. 3rd and long here. Can this West Virginia defense get another stop?
And you lose the illusion of your surprise with that trick play.
No kidding, putting the wide receiver in the backfield. I wouldn't be surprised if West Virginia heats up Eli Holstein here.
They're a big pressure team. Williams in the backfield beside Holstein. There's the pressure. There's the result.
That's going to be grounded.
Yeah. Did not go past the line of scrimmage. Didn't look like there was a receiver in the area either. The officials would infer they lit him up. Yeah, that certainly looks like grounding.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 10. Loss of down at the spot of the foul. 4th down.
So Holstein gets wrapped up, and then he just tries to get rid of the football. Oh, the question is he down?
Wow.
I mean, either way, the ball is going to be at the same spot. An intentional grounding is a spot foul, loss of down. It's the same thing as a sack.
Back to the field goal. An attempt coming from 46 yards. His career long is 43. Trey Bukowski for Trey. And it's Trey tied at 14. 3.5 minutes to go. And Pittsburgh has clawed their way back here in the second half. Take note.
And what a ball game we've got. Seeing some missed field goals. This one splits the uprights for Mr. Automatic. Missed earlier, but able to knock that one through to tie this ball game up.
They have a day called Perfect Thursday on Thursdays. And Trey Bukowski made every single kick up to the task that time too, but it was Lewis that catalyzed that scoring drive with his big interception.
Question for West Virginia, who do you put out at quarterback now?
Yeah.
You go back to the freshman who just threw an interception. You go back to Nico Marchiol, who had this offense going early, but seemed to stall with him late in that first half. Or do you try one of the other 5 that we mentioned may play today?
We'll get the answer to that question in a moment. See whether it's Marchiol, Fox Jr., or perhaps somebody else. But he'll have to maintain his poise coming off that INT. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. And it'll be Fox that comes back out again. So we'll see what he looks like. There's a look at the 2 quarterbacks we've seen today. Marchiol was 9 of 12 for only 76 yards, though. First and 10 from the 25, Mountaineer football. Pittsburgh won last year's matchup between these two in a late 4th quarter comeback. On the run, it's Edwards. Hey, our good friend Roddy Jones has a new podcast with E.J. Manuel called the ACC Network Football Podcast. Roddy, you want to tell us a little bit more about it, bro?
Yeah, E.J. Manuel.
When you gonna have me on, man?
Whenever you want. E.J. Manuel and I, Mondays and Wednesdays. It airs on ACC Network at 5 or wherever you get your podcasts. But a lot to talk about this week.
Yes.
Georgia Tech's win over Clemson. Going to be a big discussion on whether or not we should press the panic button on Clemson. My answer is yes.
Yeah.
And is Georgia Tech an ACC championship
Are they
contender?
real?
My answer is yes.
Haynes King doing a nice job at quarterback.
Bunch of carries for him again today. I think the favorites in the league are still going to be Miami and Florida State. But Georgia Tech's putting its name in the running. Their schedule is more friendly than a lot of other teams in the league.
Interesting. This Pitt team, by the way, outside of Miami and Clemson, has had the 3rd most success since Narduzzi's been there. Another interception. Lovelace squeezed it. Fox gave it away again. His 2nd consecutive interception, and Narduzzi is amped as a result. He hit Lovelace right in the hand.
What ends up being a twist, you get defender going there, and then Jimmy Scott coming underneath, and the freshman just panics. He just throws it right to Braylon Lovelace. I mean, he sees his receiver, the tight end Grayson Barnes, in the area, but that wasn't going anywhere near Barnes. It's going straight to Lovelace.
Wow. We saw Kyle Lewis have another word with the quarterback Fox Jr. after he threw the pick. And Rich Rodriguez trying to settle down his young quarterback.
Just telling him, don't panic in that situation. Don't want to turn a bad play into a catastrophic one.
On 1st down, Goff made a couple of defenders miss and brought down after about a 6, almost 7-yard gain. Meanwhile, on the other sideline, Coach Narduzzi historically has hung his hat on defense. And his crew coming through on that side of the ball again.
Talk about intensity and defense. Pat Narduzzi loves both of them. Randy Bates, the defensive coordinator, pulling all the right moves.
Goff again. Going to try and push him forward. He's going to be stopped up about a yard shy of the 1st down. Bent backwards. Third down and short coming up. And a palpable and tangible sense of tension for the Mountaineer fans. Still a little bit shook after last week's loss against Ohio. On third and short, they're going to blow the play dead first, and we got a flag on the field.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Gouveia, the culprit there.
Crucial penalties for Pitt on third downs. The holding penalty knocked him back into third and long on the last drive. They had a third and short. Now the false start gets them in third and medium.
9 penalties for a total of 87 yards. Back to the 20.
Bunch set to the bottom. I'd expect Eli Holstein, if he's throwing the ball, to go somewhere, one of those receivers.
Boy, a lot of motion on the left side of that offensive line for Pittsburgh.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, third down.
A bad series for Keith Gouveia.
Bad series for Pitt offensively.
Yeah.
You went from a 3rd and 1 to a 3rd and 11 in the span of about 45 seconds.
It didn't feel like the noise was that much of a factor on that last play either.
They're going towards the end of the field that's pushed back away from the end zone. And while this crowd is rowdy, I didn't think it was that big, that much of a difference maker.
3rd and 11. Holstein rolls right. It's caught down at the 17 by Spahn. Spahn. With under 30 seconds to go, it sets up a 4th down for the Panthers.
4th and 4, it looks like. Pitt sending out the field goal unit. I agree with this decision. I like it. You're in a situation where your defense has the West Virginia offense shaken. Back-to-back turnovers, back-to-back interceptions, and likely a quarterback controversy on that West Virginia sideline.
Bukowski missed his first from 43, then hit 2 in a row. Last one from 46, this one from 36 yards out. And he'll have to wait until the next 15 minutes. The 108th edition of the Backyard Brawl between Pitt and West Virginia shaping up. Dan Marino, John Congemi, Larry Fitzgerald. And right now we begin the 4th quarter with a Pittsburgh field goal by Trey Bukowski from 36 yards out to make it 17-14 for the Panthers. Able to convert after yet another Fox Jr. interception.
But 2 interceptions given up by this West Virginia offense. Only 6 points allowed. Both of those interceptions came in West Virginia territory. So I would consider that one of the key plays. But here are some of the ones from earlier. Raphael Williams, Poppy Williams on a big play from Eli Holstein. That led to the 2-point conversion by Blue Hicks. And then the couple of interceptions. Kyle Lewis intercepts Scotty Fox. That ends in a field goal for Pittsburgh. Consider that a win for this West Virginia defense. And then you had another pick by Braylon Lovelace just a second ago. It ended in a Pitt field goal as well. So this West Virginia defense coming up big when their backs against the wall.
Been one of the big stories of this game. 6 of 8 games decided by 7 points or less. Let's go down to Quinn.
I expect to see Jalen Henderson as quarterback number 3 for Rich Rodriguez. 5 guys was our goal. We're at 3. Redshirt junior from Los Angeles, played at Fresno and Texas A&M. Last week he was 0 for 4, but he's got an 8.5-yard run average. So Jalen Henderson, 13 at quarterback for West Virginia. A big-time threat to tuck it and run.
Thanks a lot, Q. Let's check in with the studio and Matt Barry.
All right, Jonesy, checking out our dependable player presented by Mavis Tires. And you know this guy's dependable every time he puts the ball up for LSU. Garrett Nussmeier, a big one tonight against Florida at home. LSU will need to depend on their quarterback to get a win against a Florida team that needs it.
Well, Right back here, 1st and 10 from the 25. We're getting a look at Jalen Henderson, 6'3", 227, a 5th-year senior. Clay Ash in the backfield. He rolls out and throws incomplete. Intended for Ash. Jalen Henderson. Roddy, there's the numbers on him, but I got to ask you, it feels like open gym right now. And in the 4th quarter, you're putting a guy in the football game for the first time in a backyard brawl game.
They're looking for a spark. Nico Markiel got the start. You went to Scotty Fox. Couple interceptions. You got to find somebody that can get something going with this offense.
Henderson tries to do it himself, lunging forward to the 30-yard line. Picks up 4. Take a look at the numbers of the other quarterbacks that have played today. Markiel and Scotty Fox Jr. Those 2 interceptions. Deleterious, though, for the Mountaineers.
The thing that you get with Jalen Henderson is experience. Started 4 games, the last 4 games of the 2023 season at A&M.
That's going to be a penalty against Pitt.
Offside. Defense unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And because they had a free run at the quarterback, you blow that dead. But Jalen Henderson, Jimbo Fisher's last year at A&M, they couldn't keep a quarterback healthy. He got the last 4 starts, got injured in the Texas Bowl on the 1st drive, and that's when Marcel Reed, who was a true freshman at the time, took over the starting job there and never relinquished it. Didn't play last year. Now Henderson in a big spot.
Rodriguez must really trust him. They hand it off on 3rd and short, and that's going to be close. Not sure Edwards got there. Rasheem Biles making the tackle, and the spot coming in a little bit shy of that approximation of our 1st down line. They're up at the line quickly. Going to go for it or not? Henderson with a little help from his friends from behind. And it looks like he got enough for the 1st down.
Love the aggressiveness from Rich Rodriguez. I mean, it's a rivalry game. Your defense has been on the field a ton in this 2nd half.
And you're on your 3rd quarterback. Why not?
You need something offensively. You couldn't just punt the ball back to Pitt.
And we've talked about this rivalry. They'll be meeting again in 2029. So these bragging rights for this game will go a long way. They'll get mileage out of it. Shot up top by Henderson. There's a flag down. And we're going to get a PI call. Intended for Cam Vaughn, their most explosive receiver. See what happens when
pass interference. Defense number 18. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
It's like he was trying to help him take his pads off.
Yeah, wow.
But we haven't had a chance to get into this, but Pitt has not played with their starting 2 corners, Rashad Battle and Tamon Lynham, all game long. These corners have generally been very good and untested by West Virginia down the field. They go after the backup, Rashawn Murray, and they get a PI.
Henderson, the quarterback counter run, nowhere to go. Met in the hole, shy of midfield by Sean Fitzsimmons. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. 5th-year senior out of Los Angeles, California, Jalen Henderson. Taking the reins of the offense here in the 4th quarter. And we had a little motion up front on that offensive line. How much is it?
False start. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Tell me about the adjustment in voice and cadence of 3 different quarterbacks now in that offensive line.
It's different. All of them have a different way of going about their operation at the line of scrimmage, and it's subtle. They try and make it as uniform as possible, but it can cause those little inflections because you're used to hearing a different voice. It can cause those little flinches, and you got one right there.
Their 3rd penalty today, 26 yards total. Pushes it back to the 44. Henderson with a little bit of time. Pass complete out to the 49-yard line. The tight end Grayson Barnes making the catch. Picked up 4. Sean Lee defending for the Panthers, setting up a 3rd down. They've got to get to the 40 of Pitt to keep possession.
We've already seen West Virginia go for it once on this drive on 4th down. I would expect this to be 4-down territory if you can get to a 4th and manageable, 4th and 4 or less.
Henderson gets it out quickly. Ash complete. He's going to be brought down about 4 yards shy. Decision time for Rich Rodriguez now after the 7-yard gain.
Yeah, you're right in that range where you're going for it. Just in case. Oh, that got closer than maybe anticipated.
Offense stays on the field. They're going for it.
They're showing pressure. Kyle Lewis looked like he was going to blitz.
He was trying to get Cam Vaughn, but couldn't pull it off. Brought down by Sean Fitzsimmons. Sean Fitzsimmons just put Landon Livingston, the center, in the weight room.
Blaine Spires off the edge. He has a good rush, but the real action happens with Sean Fitzsimmons putting a 324-pound man into the lap of the quarterback.
Backed him up. That pass complete to the tight end Malachi Thomas. Picked up about 5 yards.
Let's go back to the end of that replay. Watch Sean Fitzsimmons. I mean, this is why you're in the weight room pushing them sleds, doing that bench press, because Tykeus Crawford is 6'5", 324. Most of us wouldn't be able to move him 6 inches. He moves him about 7 feet into the lap of the quarterback and gets the sack.
2nd and 6, Holstein. Clean pocket underneath. Bobbled. And finally caught at the 40-yard line by Goff. Picked up 3 on the play. 3rd down and about 3 to go.
And this is where West Virginia has gotten stops, but not because their defense has been smothering. It's because Pitt penalties. Holding by Pitt, a couple of false starts to put them in 3rd and longs.
Pressure coming by the Mountaineers. He comes down and checks down, and Goff picks up the 1st down. Jules Goff moving the chains, 10-yard gain. On the RPO. That pile moving for a gain of about 7. Goff again. Pittsburgh leading by 3.
If you're this Pitt offense, you're smelling blood in the water a little bit.
And I'll say this, Roddy. Rich Rodriguez had a very spirited conversation with his quarterback after that 4th down sack a moment ago. Speaking of sacks, this time the Mountaineers get one, and we have a flag thrown. Oxley came off the edge.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 45. Penalty is half the distance to the goal, automatic 1st down.
Rich Rodriguez pleading after that one. Let's take another look.
I agree with Rich Rodriguez.
Hot clock, copy that.
After the play,
I mean, he gets taken down by Marshawn Oxley. There's no way. That's a bad call. There's no way.
Hey Matt, can you explain, please?
The only thing that I see that the referee may have thought is that he slammed his head into the turf. We have the benefit of a couple replays. He gets one shot at it, so I'm assuming that's what he thought he saw.
I mean, that's a quick trigger. It's a rivalry game. A guy's playing hard, and you throw that flag. That's a missed call.
Sets up a 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh. Holstein in the end zone, touchdown! They love it in Pittsburgh when you call him Big Poppy. Poppy Williams. Panthers leading by 9 with the extra point to follow. That's a 3rd touchdown catch of the season for Poppy Williams and the 24th of his career. And there was nobody close to him in the end zone. The extra point good, and the lead is up to 10. That Roughing the passer penalty proving to factor in big in that score. A lugubrious looking Allen's first victory over Pitt in 4 attempts, and I would imagine that was a big weight off his chest at the time. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, Quint Kesnick down on the field with 9:23 to go here in Morgantown. Panthers have surged back on a 21-0 run after trailing 14-3. And which quarterback comes out next? Let's check in with the studio.
Jones, I can tell you which quarterback's been coming out for Tennessee all day, and that's been Joey Aguilar. 30-28, Georgia. Braylon Staley wide open for the touchdown. Tennessee regains the lead, 35-30. Speaking of quarterback, who's going to start for Ole Miss? This game will start on ESPN News. We'll bring it over here to ESPN at the conclusion of the Backyard Brawl.
All right, Matt, back here. Marchiol back in the ball game. He's the one that started it. Toss into the boundary to Edwards, who has been an imperious force for the Mountaineers on the offensive side of the football. There's a look at the numbers for Holstein and the 3 quarterbacks conversely for West Virginia. 2nd and 2. Edwards with a yawning hole between the guard and tackle picks up the first down, sprinting for 11 yards. Kimo Makaniole slow to get up.
Right guard banged up. This is a big challenge, though, for Nico Marchiol coming back into the game. Those were his first 2 snaps of the second half after sitting and watching Scotty Fox get a couple of series and Jalen Henderson get a series.
And Marchiol is 9 of 12 right now, Roddy, for only 76 yards.
Back to that touchdown play by Poppy Williams. This is a situation where Eli Holstein rolls out, and it puts the safety KK Tarnu in conflict. As Holstein rolls out, it looks like Tarnu has Poppy Williams in man-to-man coverage, but Holstein's out of the pocket. Williams is looking in the backfield. Poppy Williams just finds space, hooks up in the end zone. Tarnu takes a step up. Williams wide open in the end zone. And so the rollout put the safety in a position where bad eye discipline in the backfield instead of on the receiver ends up in a touchdown.
Looking at a first down and 10 from the 45. Boy, the tenor of this game changed quickly. Marchiol completes the pass. Gallagher, the third, turning and running for the first down. Rodney Gallagher, 5'10" junior. 14-yard gain on the play. See if Marchiol can find that rhythm he had a little bit earlier.
If I'm West Virginia offensively, I think you keep going to that route combination, running off the corner, little out by the number 2 receiver. Typically that safety's playing back and that's open.
Here's Edwards again over the left side of the offensive line. You know, back in 1921, speaking of this rivalry, this game was the first one broadcast college football-wise on radio. KDKA carried it for the listeners back then. And no, I did not call that game, Roddy.
I was going to listen to the game, not called it.
10-point lead for the Panthers underneath. It's Gallagher with a great shake and move down to the 25. Got the first down. And man, he shook Lovelace like a Polaroid picture. 13-yard gain.
I mean, check this. Just a little dip to the outside and then back underneath. Braylon Lovelace has been had a nice game and an interception. He was on skates there. Did you go Andre 3000?
Yes.
Take it like a Polaroid.
Way to go, Outcast. Under 7.5 to go. They run it between the tackles. Nowhere to go this time for Clay Ash. Stopped up by Rasheem Biles. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and another Pittsburgh player slow to get up. Looked like the ball had been spotted, and it's Kyle Lewis, actually two of them. The other one is Jimmy Scott.
Yeah, I think he stayed. Both of those guys stayed on the ground. Lewis.
We saw him experience leg problems earlier, right?
Yeah, he had the Theragun on the back of his leg, the percussion gun. Kind of trying to work something out. But
had that big interception in the previous quarter. Well, he's the one that's still down, and Jimmy Scott is the one that's walking off the field now, 44. But Kyle Lewis has a lot of memories of this rivalry. Remembers winning 2 and losing once to West Virginia, and good to see him at least up. An All-American, Nagurski Butkus, Walter Camp candidate out of East Orange, New Jersey. And no softies coming out of East Orange.
No, sir. No, sir, not at all. First team All-American last year, as you said, 101 tackles, 15.5 tackles for loss, 4 interceptions. A year ago, he's rangy, he's instinctive. And now he's on the sideline. He's got Nick Lappy, I believe, in the game.
Marco completes the pass to Vaughn. And Vaughn is stopped up after about a 3-yard gain on the play.
That's Cameron Lindsay that's come in the game for Kyle Lewis, not Lappy, but big third down here. This is, I don't know, if you don't get any more yardage, I don't know. I mean, you're down 10, you need a field goal at some point anyway. If you don't get the yardage, I think you kick it.
Gets it off, Ash makes the catch. Inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Panthers. They're able to convert on the 15-yard pass, catch, and run. Under 6.5 to go.
That was a heave, a great play design, but a heave by Markio while he was wrapped up.
Hands it off to Ash. Brought down inside the 5 at the 4 by Biles. A 4-yard pickup, 2nd and goal coming up, and West Virginia playing with tempo. Markio kept it. And nowhere to go, brought down after a gain of about 1. Under 6 minutes to go, and a couple of Pittsburgh players down.
This defensive line's got to be getting pretty thin. We saw Jimmy Scott exit just a second ago. Zach Crothers on the ground, on the turf for the 2nd time in this game. Isaiah Neal, one of the defensive tackles, is on the ground as well.
Let's go to Taylor McGregor.
From a wild scene in Morgantown to another one we're expecting here in Oxford. Ole Miss and Arkansas, a rivalry game coming up at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. The biggest storyline is who will start at quarterback for Ole Miss. Austin Simmons dealing with an ankle injury. Lane Kiffin told me it will be a game-time decision. So tune in to find out, Mark.
2 hungry fan bases.
No doubt. And you got a quarterback question on Ole Miss's side. Meanwhile, Taylon Green has had an excellent start to the year.
Right.
Now, lesser competition. This is a big step up going on the road to Oxford playing Ole Miss. But, man, Taylon Green has looked the part early in this season in his 2nd year in Bobby Petrino's offense.
We saw him last year a bunch of times, Roddy, and he had moments of brilliance. Trying to string them together consistently is the challenge, but he's got all the tools. That game coming up next. Meanwhile, 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. This is the 11th play of the West Virginia drive. Clay Ash has done a nice job carrying the football and catching the football in place of Edwards.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised Ty Edwards isn't in the game in this situation. Bigger back at 225.
Markio out of the shotgun. Ash stopped up at the line of scrimmage. 4th and goal coming up for the Mountaineers. Do they go for it or take the field goal here?
The way they called it, 3 straight runs, you're kicking the field goal.
Okay.
I mean, very conservative with the play call. There's 3 straight runs and very similar runs.
Yeah.
So we had the 1 quarterback keep, but 2 inside zones and get stopped up.
So in comes Cade Hensley attempting this field goal from 21 out. It's good from 21, and the lead is down to 7 points with 5:02 to go. This game building to a crescendo. Battered, bruised, bandaged, but not busted. In Morgantown as they kick off. Holstein will take the reins of the offense, 1st and 10.
And Mark, this rivalry is going to take a pause until 2029, although the school's just announced it has been extended 4 years after the end of that 2029 stretch. So it'll be played for a while into the future. And as these conferences have gotten bigger and more national, these regional rivalries are so much more important. This is the backbone of college football. Games like the Backyard Brawl, games like Bedlam, you know, those are games that we don't see anymore that we should see more often. I mean,
realignment has changed a lot.
Pitt's playing a game at Stanford this year. That game's got no soul. It's a conference game, but this is a game that has history and tradition and pageantry.
Get a lot of frequent flyer miles, though. That pass incomplete behind his intended receiver. Number 23, Fowler. It'll be 2nd down and 10. How important for Holstein and the Panthers to eat up a little bit of clock at least, get a couple of first downs on this drive?
I think you're not quite in the position where you're entirely worried about the clock. I think the first downs are the most important, and if you get a couple of them, then you start to bleed the clock a little bit more.
Goff takes the handoff, stays on his feet, wonderful resilience, and tiptoes up the sidelines for the first down. A huge run and a missed tackle by Reed Carrico. And the result is a 17-yard gain. Look at this.
It just doesn't wrap up. I mean, the first guy on the scene is Braden Siders, and he's got him around the waist, but Carrico comes in, and if he wraps up, I mean, you've got him for no gain, maybe a minuscule gain.
15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And we have a flag. And they're going to tack 10 yards onto the play. Make it 15, pardon me. Personal foul against the Mountaineers defensively.
Yeah, it's on the sideline against Kakura Tarnu. He's well out of bounds and gets pushed. I mean, that's just a mental error by your safety. Senior, played for this staff, or at least Rich Rodriguez at Jacksonville State.
1st and 10. They keep it on the ground and nowhere to go that time for Goff. A 1-yard pickup. Tarnu making the tackle. Number 23 right there. Pardon me, 14 for the Mountaineers.
Here's where if you're Pitt, you may think about slowing down the tempo just a little bit, bleeding the clock some. And I don't think you're going into complete 4-minute offense quite yet, although we are about at 4 minutes. But you're not going to drain everything off the clock, even if you are able to get down the field.
Mountaineers have 2 timeouts remaining. Turner in the backfield. It's Turner's turn. And he is stopped at the 40-yard line. Picked up 2. Setting up a long 3rd down. Darian Lewis making the tackle for the Panthers. If you're just joining us, the reason why you're seeing Goff and Turner in the backfield is because Desmond Reed is out of the game. Left in the first half in the 2nd quarter. Not to play again. And it says a lot about Pitt that they're in this position without their most indomitable player offensively.
Yes, they are. They've been resilient offensively. I think it is notable that Jakirian Turner, true freshman in the backfield in a crucial 3rd down situation. Eli Holstein having to explain to him where to go and what to do.
3rd and 7. Williams motions out of the backfield. Here's the freshman. It's time to put up. And he's brought down shy of the first down. A 3-yard gain.
Now do you go for it if you're Pat Narduzzi? I think from here, field goal wise, you're looking at 53-ish yards. West Virginia called a timeout. It's a 4th and medium. It's like they marked it 4th and 4. I think if you're in this situation, you try and draw them off sides. If you don't draw them off sides, call a timeout and then punt the ball and pin West Virginia deep.
The analytics say kick the field goal. Trey Butkowski, we were told by Coach Narduzzi, has 55-yard range, Roddy.
Well, it says kick. I don't think you kick the field goal here. I think you kick the punt.
Hey, I translate how I want it.
Yes, you do. Well, the analytics book that the coaches use gives green, yellow, and red.
Right.
Field goal, that's up to the coach, but.
Well, here we go, 4th and 4. Coming up on ABC, 7:30 Eastern Time. Number 3 LSU hosts Florida in Death Valley. A lot to be decided here still. Offense still on the field for Pittsburgh. 4th down. The freshman Turner in the backfield, number 25.
Again, I don't think you're snapping the ball here if you're Pitt.
Trying to draw the Mountaineers offside. 3 on the play clock. Mountaineers won't go for the pump fake.
Delay of game. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So with under 3 minutes to go now, West Virginia with 1 timeout remaining, Pitt with 3. Rather animated Eli Holstein there with one of his coaches.
Just look at Eli Holstein's face.
He's beat up.
I mean, it looks like he's been through a backyard brawl. He's got cotton stuffed up one nostril. He's got stitches on the nose.
Yeah, he took a shot in the first half down in the red zone. Had to come out of the game for a couple of plays, and there's the evidence on the right side of his face.
I mean, that is the epitome of what it means to be in a rivalry game right there.
This game's a rock fight. 7th punt for the Panthers from near midfield. Nose of the football down by Junko. And the ball will be down at about the 12. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers. So last year it was Pitt with a late 4th quarter comeback. Will it be West Virginia this year?
We detailed earlier how quickly West Virginia goes offensively, averaging 26 seconds between snaps. So they can run their offense. They go fast anyway. You can still run the football. You've got a timeout, so once you get under 2 minutes, you can start to utilize the sideline and save that time. But they go so fast, you can run your offense and get a few plays off before the 2-minute timeout.
Nico Marchiol out of the shotgun. Passes, and it's caught. Good grab by Gallagher III. He's the only returning starter out of the receivers for Rich Rodriguez. 2nd down coming up, about 2 to go. And they'll pick up the 1st down. That's Edwards, who's now back in the football game. Spent a lot of time on that previous drive on the sidelines.
Now they get a playoff before the 2-minute timeout. Again, they go so fast. It looks like they'll have plenty of time.
Marchiol with a clean pocket. Incomplete at the 38-yard line. Knocked away nicely by Rashawn Murray. Cam Vaughn the target.
It was a really nice play, playing the hands of the wide receiver by Rashawn Murray. And those hands of Cam Vaughn went out. His arm went right through him. Getting an opportunity because of the injuries to Taman Lynham and Rashad Battle, the 2 starters. Rashawn Murray was called for a pass interference earlier, but got the play there.
Yeah, that Panther secondary, a little bit short-handed, but holding up.
West Virginia's going to have to call their last time out or get a delay of game. As they started to sub, and now Pitt. Oh no, you're going to get.
Let's go down to Q.
West Virginia didn't have enough guys on. They threw somebody on the field, had too many, had to run him off. The referee granted the ability for Pitt to sub, which meant that West Virginia couldn't snap, and they're going to get a delay of game here. And all sorts of time.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's everyone does it, but that is Pitt using that to their advantage, because West Virginia ran a guy on and then ran him off. It was about 20 seconds on the play clock when that happened. And then, of course, the referees hold the ball to let Pitt match the substitution. Those big boys for Pitt took their time, and effectively.
Good chess move by Pitt.
Very good. And you see teams across the country doing it.
Marchiol Out of the backfield, Ash trying to find something. Got helicoptered and land at the 25. Braylon Lovelace making the tackle. A 6-yard pickup. We hit the 2-minute timeout. And another big finish coming up in the 108th chapter of the West Virginia Mountaineers with the football. 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Down by 7 points against Pitt. On 3rd and 9, Marchiol completes it to his tight end, Grayson Barnes, and a huge pickup. Clutch delivery by Nico.
What a throw, what a call by Rich Rodriguez, anticipating the safety splitting and knowing in that Tampa 2, if you can hit the tight end up the seam, it'll be a big game.
34 yards. Ash tackled after a gain of about 4. Spires makes the tackle on the play. Mountaineers with just 1 timeout remaining. They need a touchdown. And a Pittsburgh player down on the field. It's Spires who was in on the tackle.
Had a lot of Pitt defenders on the ground in this game.
Yeah.
Wayne Spires, looks like the way that they're treating it, looks like a bit of a cramp. But watch this, the safeties are gonna split, and then this guy's responsible for the middle, and then Spires just goes right up the seam, and Marchiol with a great delivery. Wow. Just past the outstretched hands of Rasheem Biles. That is a phenomenal play on a 3rd and long. A quarterback that didn't play the first, 4 series of the second half? Comes in and he has performed well, as you see Wayne Spires limping off the field.
That might have been Marchiol's best throw of the game.
He's had a couple of them. That one certainly, with the situation, the timing of it, the placement. I mean, it was inches from the hand of Rasheem Biles.
Mountaineers still alive. 16 of 20 today for Marchiol. 170 yards.
And on a day where offensively West Virginia hasn't been dominant, they still run 75 plays in this game. Defense has been on the field a lot, and it was warm when we started this game.
From 38. 2nd and 7. 1 timeout remaining. Pitt with 3. Complete underneath to Cam Vaughn. Upended and lands at the 25. It'll be 1st and 10 with 91 seconds to play.
And Francis Brew, 95, almost had the sack in the backfield. A last-minute shove by one of the West Virginia offensive linemen knocked him over and saved what could have been a sack. Made it a big game.
13-yard gain. Clay Ash in the backfield. Takes the handoff from Marchiol. Picks up about 6. It'll be 2nd down. Up at the line of scrimmage quickly. Vaughn split wide to the bottom of your screen. Marchiol hands it off to Ash, though. Picks up about 2. Under a minute to go, clock running.
I'm surprised West Virginia running the ball a couple of times because of their tempo. You can do that and still not lose a ton of time. Still 1 timeout and obvious 4-down territory.
3rd and 2, 10th play of the drive. Ash gets the call and the 1st down. But they have to move expeditiously here.
Yeah, now the clock will stop until the chains are set, and then they'll wind it. You're right, Mark. They have to go. Now the clock is your enemy.
Ash splits out wide. They go empty. Under 30 seconds to go. Marchiol into the end zone. Incomplete. Broken up by Brookins.
Marchiol was about a half-second late on this throw because Grayson Barnes is open right from the beginning. And it gets knocked away. Great play by Bruce Brookins, 6'2" safety. Marchiol was looking to the outside and then got back to Grayson Barnes just a beat too late.
Vaughn split wide to the bottom of your screen. Barnes inside of him. Marchiol into the end zone again. Contact, flag. Vaughn was the intended receiver. And Murray was back there trying to defend. And all things indicate PI against the defense.
I agree with you. It might be a hold pre the ball being thrown.
Vaughn sold it pretty well, too.
Yes, he did.
Pass interference. Defense, number 18. Ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
18 seconds on the 2-yard line. Dangerous to run the ball here, although you do have a timeout.
They go empty.
You do run the ball with Nico Marchiol. You can call that timeout if you need to.
They go empty. Marchiol out of the shotgun. Delivers. Batted away. Incomplete. Lovelace got a hand on it. It was intended for Gallagher. With 14 seconds to go, 2nd and goal. They still have a timeout remaining.
So now essentially, if you want it, you're thinking about how to get the most out of your plays because you have that timeout. Running the ball still available. You're looking for any pick routes or rub routes. If you're able to throw the ball, you just cannot take a sack if you're Nico Marchiol. Play clock winding down now. 11 seconds.
Edwards in the ball game. Marchiol caught. Touchdown Barnes. Nico Marchiol with a great pass into a tight window for the touchdown to his tight end, Grayson Barnes. And a guy that sat for the 3rd quarter brings the team to life, Roddy.
The play action, everybody bites down on it. And you've got Grayson Barnes against Javon McIntyre, who has outside leverage from the beginning, which means Barnes is going to be able to get inside, and all Marchiol has to do is put it up in the air for the 6'4" tight end to go up and grab it. What a drive by Nico Marchiol. Was helped out by a penalty, but how about the throw on the 3rd and 9 to get down there? How about the operation of this offense to get them down inside the red zone into the touchdown? And it looks like, unless something miraculous happens on this kickoff return or on the next play, could be headed for overtime.
Well, Desmond Reed is out of the ball game if you're a Pittsburgh Panther fan. But that last drive, let me back up, 13 plays, 87 yards in all, 2:36 on the clock, and they're back in it.
And you do wonder, what would this be like had Nico Marchiol played the whole second half? I mean, 2 interceptions by the freshman quarterback led to 6 pit points. But nonetheless, they're in great position.
Remember, Arkansas, Mississippi following this game. Not sure when this game's going to be over. Spawn on the kickoff return with 7 seconds to go as we check in with the studio.
All right, Jones, you need to point out to the folks that are looking for Ole Miss and Arkansas, we have had to start that game on ESPN News because of this Backyard Brawl Classic. So, if you're looking for that, go to ESPN News. We will move it over to ESPN once the game goes final. Ole Miss Arkansas on E! News. We'll move it over at the end of this game.
Under the lights in Morgantown, West Virginia. And version 108 of this storied rivalry will go to O. And thanks for that explanation, Reese Davis. Reese is everywhere.
Reese is everywhere.
This one down to the wire, 6 of the last 8, as we told you, decided by 7 or less. Pittsburgh winning the toss. They elect to play defense first. The Mountaineers elected what end they wanted to go towards. They chose that one. With the ball from the 25, 1st and 10. Marchiol tosses into the boundary. Edwards turns it upfield and picks up about 7. Pittsburgh players slow to get up.
Had a lot of success with that play today. That little quick toss out to the boundary. It's been a nice play for this West Virginia offense, and it gets them started on 1st down. We talked about the importance of 1st downs over the course of this game to get into their tempo, although the Pitt player banged up.
Yeah, we got an injured player down in the field from Pittsburgh. just off the field of play on the sidelines right there. It happened on the last sequence. It appeared to be Crookins. Let's go down to Quinn.
I happen to be right on the scene in that crazy tackle where Edwards was kind of flipped up and Brookins came flying over the top. Pat Narduzzi now sitting next to his athlete, who's now up on his feet, showing movement signs. Pitt's defense has been ravaged with injuries in the second half of this ball game. It was hot, as you guys said, but this has been a physical game with a lot of plays. If you look at the play totals,
yeah,
and that's taking its toll as Brookins now is sitting up and the athletic training staff is attending to him.
And Bruce Brookins, one of the keys to this defense, that boundary safety, always so important in the run game and in coverage for this Pitt defense. His backup, Josh Guerrier, is a true freshman. Number 14 is going to be out in that secondary.
Yeah, he's back there now.
There he is.
If you're West Virginia and you want to try and test the freshman, what does the play call look like?
You'd love to try, as long as it's within what you've had success with today. It'd be something with one of the slot receivers.
Okay.
Likely a play action at that boundary safety where he's going to take a step up and maybe you can hit right behind him. Something that could force communication between he and the corner. There are a couple tight ends in the game for this West Virginia offense.
2nd and 3. Edwards in the backfield. And he'll pick up the first down plus about 3 yards. Ty Edwards has had himself an afternoon, folks. Picks up 5. Having the best game of his college career at the FBS level.
The other thing is you could run to the boundary side and get pushed from the offensive line and force the freshman to come up and make a tackle. Ty Edwards kind of bounces off and gets more yardage.
Edwards again across the formation, brought down for a gain of about 3. Each team gets a possession here in overtime. There's a look at the numbers on Ty Edwards. 135 and a healthy 6.1 average.
Mentioned it coming in at the FBS level, 14 carries for 44 yards, all at UTSA before this game.
Marchiol looking down into the red zone. Caught and upended inside the 5. Barrick, Jacob Barrick. He's going to limp off the field. Picked up 7. 3rd down coming up.
He was trying to get off the field. They waved him back on, so they didn't have to sub.
3rd and short. Boy, not much of a surge or movement up front. And it doesn't appear as if West Virginia got the first down.
Based on the spot, it's going to be close. No, they've got the fist up in the air.
4th down coming up.
You were right.
Wow.
Looking at the far official, they spotted on that near official's foot. They're putting the beef in the game. I like this aggressiveness from West Virginia.
They're going to go for it, Roddy. Wow. Okay.
Couple of extra offensive linemen. 7 O-linemen in the game and a 225-pound running back. 8 O-linemen.
Jumbo Edwards down to the 1-yard line. 1st and goal, Mountaineers. And back up to the line of scrimmage quickly again.
I've been short both times. 9 O-linemen in the game.
Looking for some movement and help from the back end. Tush push not that impactful on that play, or the previous one.
They weren't as close to the tush. I mean, you gotta get right up in there and have everybody going.
2nd and goal. And we have a Pitt player favoring his left side. Isaiah Neal, one of the quicker defensive linemen there. Native of Washington, D.C. Last week had himself a big week in their win.
Check this out. Let's count the O-linemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say each offensive lineman goes about 300 pounds. It's 2,700 pounds of man leading up.
Wow.
Ty Edwards, that's
who goes about 230
formation. Yeah, exactly. I'm not doing the math on that. Continuing on, they were lucky to get to 2,700.
Boy, what a surge of late points by the Mountaineers when it appeared as if they were on life support. Poppy Williams with a long catch and run after, and then the interception by the K9. Got a lot of dog in his game, Lewis, and then the touchdown soon thereafter. And this was the big pass and catch. Barnes, late in the ball game, they made the extra point, sending it into overtime.
Those two interceptions in the second half thrown by West Virginia, you give a lot of credit to that West Virginia defense. Pitt only got 6 points out of those, but Pitt offensively really hurt itself with penalties. They're in this overtime game. Desmond Reed hasn't played since very early in the game, but Pitt's going to go back and look at the film. A holding penalty, 2 back-to-back false starts pushed them into 3rd and longs after those interceptions. They had to settle for field goals.
Nothing ever seems normal about this backyard brawl. Marchiol out of the shotgun, jumbo formation, hands it off Edwards. Got in, touchdown, Mountaineers.
Ultra jumbo formation. Couple offensive linemen leading. Pat Narduzzi thinks it was a false start. It did look like one of those linemen in the backfield right at the snap. Maybe a hair early, but it wasn't called. West Virginia touchdown.
Extra point, good. Pitt will have an opportunity, though. They get their chance in overtime. Nothing but a touchdown will do for them.
Mark, how about the... Yeah, it did look like got a little bit of a head start.
56.
But how about the day for Ty Edwards? 25 carries, 141 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, if West Virginia wins this game, you can etch his name as a West Virginia legend.
Yes.
People will always remember what you do in these games as a guy who had a big game against a rival on the road for a win. People still come up and mention that game. Ty Edwards is headed straight there if Pitt indeed isn't able to get the ball in the end zone in this overtime.
Hits a little bit differently during the backyard brawl. Sounds different too. Now it's Pat Narduzzi's turn in overtime. They need a touchdown and they'll lose a yard. Goff on the carry. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
Ben Cutter, one of the reserve linebackers that's been thrust into a role where he's playing a ton because Chase Wilson banged up. Ashton Woods got ejected for targeting. So it's being Reed, Carrico, and Ben Cutter for most of this game, and it's as loud in here as it has been all day.
Holstein pulls, almost picked off, and that would have been ball game. Tarnu had an opportunity to put this game to bed, but he couldn't hang on.
Oh man, I mean that's ball game, as you said. Rich Rodriguez can't believe it, but if you're KK Tarnu, you have to flush it because you got a big 3rd down coming up here. You can't think about the interception that you just dropped. Pitt, it's 4-down territory. Eli Holstein doesn't have to get it all here.
Johnson out to the top of the screen. Williams, the slot receiver, and they're going to blow this dead.
Prior to the snap,
Mountaineers got a timeout.
They're only 1 for this period.
The We get one in the period. Looking at 3rd down and 11. Tell you what, you can't say enough about the toughness and the temerity of West Virginia coming back with a late flurry of points, now leading in overtime, putting Pitt on its collective heels. What do they do here, 3rd and long?
Well, I think if you're West Virginia, you've had success heating up the pocket and making Eli Holstein get the ball out quick. You don't want to give up that big play, but if you can get a sack here or an incompletion, you put Pitt in a really tough position. The resilience of this West Virginia team, though, has been on full display. I mean, you mentioned coming back 2 second-half interceptions, the defense standing tall, aided by some Pitt penalties. And now you're in a position where you could have ended the game a play ago. But again, you flush it and move on to a big 3rd and 11.
Goff in the backfield, beside Holstein. Kenny Johnson split to the top of your screen. Poppy Williams, the inside receiver, to the left of Holstein. Holstein is going to be sacked, lost the football again, but he's going to be ruled down at the 39 in the grasp. So it'll be 4th and long coming up. Great pressure up the middle of that offensive line once again.
And now you've got an offensive lineman, B.J. Williams, hurt.
As we noted duly earlier, that been several Pittsburgh players that have had some injury issues in the second half here.
And you're going to get the linebacker walking up. He's going to come here. The defensive lineman, defensive nose guards there. And then a wraparound by Eddie Kelly is what's going to create this pressure. For Eli Holstein, you'd love to see that get rid of the football, but hits the back of one of his linemen. And then driven back, Edward Vesternen gets the sack. Rich Rodriguez fired up. Vesternen, a guy who was in the Finnish army, speaks 4 languages and comes up with a huge play. And now, if you're West Virginia, you sort of treat this almost as a Hail Mary. Knock the ball down.
And Pitt, Roddy, backed up all the way now to the 35-yard line. They are in last chance mode here.
Another thing, no penalties if you're West Virginia.
Holstein overshoots his receiver, and that's it. The Mountaineers mount a stirring, riveting comeback and win against Pitt.